Chapter 2461 The Ancient Technique, Practice It. Open black lens bracket seeking full order close black lens bracket. Soon, Bai Yingxiang's copy body was copied, and he immediately went to pick up the copy body of the primordial demon ape. It didn't take long for the two duplicate bodies to meet, and then pretend to fight together. Boom! In the process of fighting between the cloned body of the ancient demon ape and the cloned body of the white image, the ancient golden blood was transferred. Then, the primordial demon ape duplicated its body and fled away, pretending to be defeated. The Bai Yingxiang clan was chasing and killing, and gradually moved away from this area. After, Bai Yingxiang copied the body and transferred the ancient golden blood to another ordinary blood-changing creature that Yi Tian had just copied, and then this ordinary blood-changing creature took it away from the ancient ruins. Boom! The White Shadow clan and the primordial demon ape clan kept fighting in the primordial ruins, and even spread to the area outside the primordial ruins. Therefore, many blood-changed creatures are on the run. Whether it is the primordial demon ape clan, or the White Shadow clan, they naturally have no time to kill other blood transformation creatures. Therefore, Yi Tian's ordinary blood-changing creature escaped with other blood-changing creatures, and was not intercepted along the way. Everyone is running for their lives, and no one cares about who. Finally, Yi Tian escaped from this area. Afterwards, he once again put the ancient golden blood on his real body replica body. Then, he annihilated all the duplicated bodies in the ancient ruins, leaving no trace. Go, return to Wanlong territorial waters. As long as they return to Wanlong's territorial waters, that is the real safety. White Elephant City, a copy of Yi Tian's body is still here to inquire about the situation. At this time, the information of the ancient ruins was also introduced here. Many blood-changing creatures know that the primordial demon ape and the White Shadow clan have fought. Have you heard that the Bai Yingxiang clan fought with the primordial demon ape clan? Fighting. Why, could it be that the White Shadow clan avenged the primordial golden turtle clan? What kind of revenge? It has something to do with the ancient golden blood. What is the ancient golden blood? The ancient golden blood is related to the ancient art, but I don't know exactly what the relationship is. In short, the Bai Yingxiang family dispatched a lot of blood-changing creatures to fight with the ancient demons in the ancient ruins. According to the current information, it is the primordial demon ape that cultivated a large amount of primordial golden blood in the ruins of primordial ancient, and every drop of primordial golden blood is unimaginable in value, and the Bai Yingxiang clan was moved, so they took action to snatch it. The ancient golden blood is so precious, I want to snatch it, but unfortunately the strength is too weak. If you go, you are courting death. As time passed, the battle between the White Shadow clan and the primordial demon ape clan expanded. The Bai Yingxiang clan has indeed robbed a lot of the ancient golden blood, and they have also snatched the formation that gave birth to the ancient golden blood, trying to study some mysteries from it. As for letting the primordial demon ape clan hand over the real cultivation method, it is unrealistic. It can only be studied from the existing materials, and it may be possible to study it. Primordial Demon Ape Clan. At this time, all the Primordial Demon Ape Clan were very angry. This time, a lot of ancient golden blood was cultivated, but more than half of them were robbed, and many ancient demons were also lost. More importantly, the formation that was finally rewarded was destroyed or taken away, and the long-term cultivation process was interrupted. This was the biggest loss. Did the ancient monitor lizard snatch it back? The patriarch of the primordial demon ape clan asked Fu Fu. The snatch is back, and he is temporarily imprisoned in our devil's prison. Said an elder. Continue to communicate. In the future, if there is a White Shadow clan near our territory, kill it. Sarufu said angrily. Yes. Many immemorial demons responded. Wanlong territorial waters. Yi Tian returned safely and brought back the ancient golden blood. At this time, he breathed a sigh of relief. Ha ha ha, I have obtained tens of thousands of drops of ancient gold blood this time, and there should be hope to practice the ancient technique of ancient gods and demons. Yi Tian murmured. Afterwards, he began to practice the primordial god and demon fist. He first swallowed 100 drops of the ancient golden blood, then began to refine the energy of the ancient golden blood, and then practiced the ancient magic fist. I have to say that the ancient art is too mysterious, and the cultivation is too difficult. As soon as he cultivated, an inexplicable force seemed to crush his flesh and blood. Fortunately, with the protection of the ancient golden blood, the problem would not be a big problem. Years passed, Yi Tian kept trying to cultivate the ancient technique of the ancient magic fist. Finally, on this day, the cultivation failed. Click. The body of flesh and blood was torn apart, The countless bones of the whole body were shattered into pieces, and the tendons, internal organs, and countless blood were all messed up. The key is that the traces left by the ancient technique made it difficult for him to recover this body. Every time the ancient technique fails, the body will leave traces of the ancient times of failure. The more failures, the more likely it is to practice the ancient technique. This is also the reason why many blood-changing creatures cannot practice the ancient technique. Yi Tian muttered. Of course, it is not that there is no way, such as using extremely rare treasures to eliminate the immemorial traces on the body, so as to restore the injury and restore the foundation. But such treasures are probably more precious than the ancient golden blood. Anyway, he didn't know where to find such a treasure. Then, Yi Tian directly gave up such a duplicate body, copied a duplicate body again, and practiced the ancient technique of the ancient gods and demons again. In this way, Yi Tian cultivated again and again, failed again and again, and changed his body again and again. From the failure at the beginning, to slowly summarizing the experience later, with a new understanding and perception of this ancient art, the success rate of later cultivation will naturally become higher and higher. With the passage of time, the ancient golden blood continued to be consumed. 1,000 drops, 3,000 drops, 5,000 drops, 10,000 drops. Before he knew it, 30,000 drops of ancient golden blood were consumed. Once again, 100 drops of Thai good ancient gold blood was refined by Yi Tian, and he once again practiced the ancient magic fist. This time, Yi Tian finally succeeded. Boom! The ancient technique of Taiku god and demon fist was successfully practiced by Yi Tian, and the terrifying punch shook the entire Wanlong territorial waters, making the ancestors of Wanlong's territorial waters terrified, thinking that something happened to Wanlong's territorial waters. Young. With the practice of the ancient technique, it turned into imprints and integrated into the whole body, making Yi Tian's body more and more terrifying. This is not a blood change, but a fundamental transformation of the foundation. And, this time the boost is too big. Every second, his strength is improving. After a long time, this transformation is complete. I'm still in the 3 blood transitions. Before, the combat power was only between the 4 blood transitions and the 5 blood transitions, but now I have definitely entered the 5 blood transitions, and it is even comparable to the top 5. Second blood change. 1. Yi Tian said excitedly. Chapter 2462 Universal City. Compared with the ancient technique, the technique of infinite supernatural powers is simply rubbish. If you can practice one more ancient technique, your strength will be even stronger. Yi Tian thought to himself. If other blood-changing creatures know that Yi Tian has practiced an ancient technique and are not satisfied, they will be jealous to death. Moreover, he has only 3 blood transitions now, which is enough to match the top 5 blood transitions. If his cultivation base breaks through and reaches 4 blood transitions, he can match the top 6 blood transitions. The ancient golden blood is a good thing. If you obtain other ancient techniques in the future, you have to find a way to obtain more ancient golden blood. It's a pity that he doesn't have much immemorial gold blood left now, and it's simply not enough to practice the second immemorial technique. Of course, as he becomes stronger and stronger, there will definitely be more chances to obtain the ancient golden blood. The next goal is to break through the cultivation base to the 4 blood changes. Yi Tian muttered, but it is not easy to break through to the 4 blood changes, not to mention that he has also practiced the ancient art, the flesh becomes more terrifying and it is naturally more difficult to transform the heart. Treasures like dragon gold blood are useless to him now. White Elephant City. Yi Tian came to the shop of the White Dragon clan again, and was going to sell some items. These items were all items he found in the ancient ruins, and could sell hundreds of thousands of white elephant gold. Soon, he completed the transaction with this shop and obtained hundreds of thousands of white elephant gold. Later, he asked, "Does your shop have better resources than Longjin's blood, which are suitable for practitioners?" "Really not." Bai Long shook his head. "There are not many resources suitable for practitioners. Most of the resources sold by these shops in White Elephant City are the resources needed by the territorial sea boundary seam blood transformation race, which is useful for practitioners. There are very few resources, because even if you get a lot, you can't sell them all." "Do you know where it is?" Yi Tian asked. This white dragon saw that Yi Tian often came to the store to trade, so he told Yi Tian. "Endless heavenly ancestor, if you want to obtain more resources for your cultivators than Longjin blood, I suggest that you travel in the direction of White Elephant City and go directly to Universal City." Bai Long said. Universal City. Yi Tian was surprised. What does the word, Wanyu, have to do with the Wanyu Tower? However, he did not inquire, but simply inquired about the situation of Universal City. Where is Universal City? Why haven't I heard of it? Yi Tian asked. Bai Long introduced. Wanyu City is the strength established by your cultivators, and there are also a few blood-changing realm races who will enter the world for trading. For example, our White Dragon family has also been there. In White Elephant City, we know the blood-changing realm of Universal City. There are very few creatures, and I only heard the elders mention it occasionally. Of course, I don't know much about more information. I only know that the Universal City is very powerful, and it seems to be more powerful than the White Elephant City. Thank you, Yi Tian said gratefully. Afterwards, he left White Elephant City and went to Universal City. It has to be said that White Elephant City is really far away from Universal City. With his current speed, he can far surpass his previous self, and he has traveled for a long time before arriving at Universal City. It's here, in this territorial sea and boundary seam area, the number of cultivators has increased, but the number of blood-changing creatures has decreased. Occasionally, they are seen in groups, and they will not start with cultivators. After all, this is the cultivator's territory. How dare these blood-changing creatures dare to attack the cultivator, but they are worried that the cultivator will attack them, so they hurry with the united team. When Yi Tian saw Universal City, he immediately sensed that the universal order in his body was shaking. Knowing the name of Wanyu City, he deliberately brought Wanyu Ling. Now it seems that Wanyu Ling is really related to Wanyu City. Yi Tian walked into Wanyu City and saw a lot of practitioners. There are ordinary ancestors, there are also blood changes, and there are also 4 or 5 blood changes. He can vaguely sense more than 6 blood changes, existence of the environment. Moreover, Universal City is bigger than White Elephant City. In addition, there is an unimaginable grand formation in Wanyu City, which suppresses the strength of many heavenly ancestors, making it impossible for heavenly ancestors to cause too much damage in Wanyu City. Once Tianzu makes trouble in Wanyu City, he will definitely be suppressed in an instant. Afterwards, Yi Tian inquired about the news in Wanyu City to understand the situation here. After a period of time, Yi Tian had a general understanding of the basic situation of Universal City. Wanyu City is located in the middle of several territorial seas, and these territorial seas are very powerful, but they are not as weak as Wanlong territorial seas. Universal City can be said to be the center of these territorial waters for mutual exchanges and transactions. After all, entering other territorial waters will suppress their strength, and many blood-changing realm ancestors will naturally not easily enter other territorial waters. Therefore, Universal City is so prosperous. In addition, there is also a Wanyu Tower in Wanyu City, with a total of 18 floors. He was quite surprised when he knew that there was also a Wanyu Tower in Wanyu City, and also understood that the real Wanyu order should have something to do with this Wanyu Tower. As for the origin of the Wanyu Pagoda, many heavenly ancestors of the blood transformation realm do not know, they only know that they were here before the endless years, and it may even be longer than the existence of Wanyu City. If you want to enter the Wanyu Tower, you need a universe order, otherwise you will not be able to enter. The number of universal orders is very rare, and many forces are buying universal orders. According to the price of Universal City, a universal order can be sold for 30,000 ancient gold. Taiku gold is the currency of Universal City, a currency recognized by all practitioners, and can be circulated anywhere. Of course, white elephant gold can also be exchanged for swire gold, and a piece of swire gold can be exchanged for 6 pieces of white elephant gold. In other words, the price of one universal order is 180,000 white elephant gold. The value of a universal order is so high. Yi Tian was surprised. However, he is not spoonable. Subsequently, he came to the Wanyu Tower, ready to go to the Wanyu Tower. When Yi Tian took out the universal order, he easily entered the universal tower. It has been detected that the Master of the Universe has the 6th floor authority, so he can directly go to the 7th floor. Do you want to go to the 7th floor? A voice came from the Wanyu Tower. This should be the artifact of the Universe Tower. The information that I crossed the 6th floor in Wanlong's territorial waters should be kept in this universal order, and now the real Universal Tower is known. Yi Tian then directly entered the 7th floor of the Wanyu Tower. Chapter 2463 Primordial Genius Open black lens bracket Seeking full order Close black lens bracket. The 7th floor of the Universe Tower. Yi Tian entered here, but it was not like Wanlong's territorial waters of the Universe Tower, which forcibly enveloped an area and fought with a creature. This seems to be the inner area of the Universe Tower. A figure was teleported in, and the face of the other party was completely blocked. However, Yi Tian's copying talent shrouded the opponent, and he found out the opponent's talent and information, and knew which ancestor the opponent was. Zhu He Tianzu. Hey, I was selected by the Wanyu Tower, I'm lucky, if I defeat you, I can get a little reward. Zhu He Tianzu looked at Yi Tian and said, this Tianzu, why don't you admit defeat? How about I give you a little after I get the reward? Are you thinking I'm stupid? Yi Tian sneered. If he defeats the opponent, he can get rewards from the Tower of the Universe, and his authority will also be enhanced. The benefits obtained are beyond the imagination of the opponent. The other party's reward is not in his eyes. Otherwise, if you give me some treasures, I will just admit defeat. Zhu He Tianzu changed his mind again. There are no loopholes in the Wanyu Tower. If the other party admits defeat, he probably won't count as breaking through. After all, the artifact spirit of the Universal Tower is paying attention to this place at the moment, so he will not be so stupid to do so. Go ahead, Yi Tian said lightly. Seeing that Yi Tian was not fooled, Zhu He Tianzu didn't say much, and shot directly. Swish, Yi Tian pointed it out and instantly killed the opponent. However, when the opponent was about to fall, he was removed by the Wanyu Tower, because he did not really die. So weak, Yi Tian muttered. Due to the cover of the Wanyu Tower, he couldn't observe the other party's cultivation realm. It is estimated that it is the cultivation base of the 3 blood changes. Yi Tian judged. Here comes the reward. The reward is a Saint Flame golden fruit, which is probably worth dozens of Taiku gold, so it's okay. After all, this is only the 7th tier reward. Then, Yi Tian came to the 8th floor of the Wanyu Tower. The heavenly ancestor encountered at this level is roughly equivalent to the strength of the heavenly ancestor of the blood transformation realm 3 times to the heavenly ancestor of the blood transformation realm 4 times. After that, Yi Tian came to the 9th floor of the universe tower. The strength of the heavenly ancestor in this layer is equivalent to the strength of the top 4 blood transformation realm heavenly ancestor, which was also killed by Yi Tian in seconds. 10th floor. The strength of the ancestors of this layer has reached the ordinary 5-time blood transformation realm combat power, and is still not Yi Tian's opponent. 11th floor. The opponents of this layer already have the top 5 blood transformation realm combat power. Boom. Yi Tian fought with each other for a long time, and even showed the ancient magic fist. The 2 sides fought for a long time, seemingly indistinguishable. However, the damage caused by the ancient technique of the ancient magic fist to the opponent is difficult to recover, so as time goes on, the opponent's injury becomes more and more serious. In the end, that heavenly ancestor was defeated by Yi Tian. After passing through this layer, Yi Tian's reward was much better. It's Taihao Bloodstone. This thing is worth about 60,000 ancient gold. Wanyu Tower is really willing. Yi Tian said excitedly. Then, he went to the 12th floor. But this time, he failed, because the opponent he encountered was the 6th blood transformation realm Tianzu. Where was his opponent? And he was defeated by the opponent with 1 move. Just when he was about to leave the Wanyu Tower's evaluation of him came out. Barrier. Endless heavenly ancestor. Cultivation. 3 blood changes. Number of floors in the tower, the 11th floor. Evaluation. Taiku genius. An ancient genius. Yi Tian knew this evaluation for the first time. He only knew that in the Sea of Territorial Sea, he was called a world-breaking genius before, and now this ancient genius should be above the world-breaking genius. I am a world-breaking genius, and I have practiced an ancient technique, which is why I became an immemorial genius. However, practicing an ancient technique is not necessarily an immemorial genius. If my foundation is not enough, I am lucky to practice. It has become an ancient art, and at most it can only be regarded as a top-notch genius. 1. Yi Tian thought to himself. Becoming an immemorial genius, his authority has also been greatly improved. Soon, he knew how useful his authority was. First, fate. Oh, the ability of the Wanyu Tower is terrifying, and its power can cover a long area. If you are in a desperate situation elsewhere, you can summon the Wanyu Tower to move yourself away and get rid of danger. For flowers, this is life-saving ability. And he could use 3 of those chances. In addition to this authority, it also has transaction authority. The artifact spirit of the Universal Tower has built a universal time and space trading network, and only practitioners are allowed to join it and trade and chat in it, similar to the Universal Time and Space Network in Wanlong's territorial waters. However, this one is more advanced. And he has a very high trading authority. For example, if he sells something, the Universal Time and Space Trading Network will push his items to countless blood transformation realm practitioners. If the authority is low, no cultivator of the blood transformation realm will see anything sold. 0. At the same time, if he needs something, the Universal Time and Space Trading Network also reminds him immediately, and he can buy it faster than other blood change realms. This is the benefit of high transaction authority. Of course, he can also consult the blood change realm information with low authority. Moreover, as a primordial genius, even if he has passed through the blood change realm on the 12th and 13th floors, he is not eligible to access his information, unless the other party is also an primordial genius and his authority is still above him. See his message. But under normal circumstances, those immemorial geniuses would not be bored enough to check his information, unless they knew who he was, then they would investigate him. It happens that I am short of resources. Let's see if anyone in the Universal Time and Space Trading Network sells resources that will help me break through to the 4 blood changes. 1 inch. Afterwards, he logged into the Universal Time and Space Trading Network, and immediately had his own trading authority to inquire about the resources he needed. Soon, he found a very useful resource, but it was sold in very few quantities. Taiyuan Jinshui. This kind of resource is very few, but the grade is much higher than that of Longjin blood, and it is useful even for the ancestors of the 5 blood changes. The price sold on the Universal Time and Space Trading Network is 2,000 Taiku gold drops, which is a terrifying price, and many blood change realms cannot afford it. A few more drops of Taiyuan golden water. Seeing this, Yi Tian immediately sold the resources on his body, such as the rewards he received from the Universe Tower, in exchange for Taiku gold, and then bought these Taiyuan gold water corpse. Chapter 2464 Taiyuan Mountain. Yi Tian's items were quickly sold, and a total of about 90,000 ancient gold was sold. Subsequently, Yi Tian placed the treasure in the Wanyu Tower, and the other party also placed the Taiku gold in the Wanyu Tower. Without meeting, the Wanyu Tower was responsible for completing the transaction process. Soon, 90,000 Taiku gold fell into Yi Tian's hands. After that, he bought Taiyuan golden water, bought a total of 13 drops of Taiyuan golden water, and spent 26,000 Taigu gold. He also wanted to buy more Taiyuan golden water, but unfortunately there was no more Taiyuan golden water for sale. If he hadn't had a high trading authority and had been the first to see the Taiyuan gold water sold by others, he would have been unable to grab the 13 drops of Taiyuan gold water. 13 drops of Taiyuan Jinshui is far from enough. I am a genius at the ancient level. If I want to break through the realm, I need a lot of Taiyuan Jinshui. Yi Tian secretly said. After 310, he refined the 13 drops of Taiyuan gold water to test the effect. Boom! The effect of Taiyuan Jinshui is indeed very good, far surpassing that of Longjin blood. With the flesh and blood of his immemorial genius, he can feel the immemorial golden water constantly tempering his heart, making his heart stronger and stronger. But as time passed, the 13 drops of Taiyuan golden water gradually ran out. The effect of Taiyuan golden water is indeed very good, but unfortunately the quantity is too small. I need at least 1,000 drops of Taiyuan golden water to temper my heart to the limit of 3 blood changes. Yi Tian estimated. This is only tempered to the limit. If you want to break the shackles, it is not clear how much Taiyuan Jinshui is needed. Therefore, if he wants to obtain a large amount of Taiyuan gold water, it is not enough to rely solely on the Universal Time and Space Trading Network, and he has to find a way to obtain or find Taiyuan gold water. In the following years, Yi Tian was in the Wanyu Pagoda to learn about the situation of Taiyuan Jinshui, and wanted to know where the Taiyuan Jinshui was abundant. Taiyuan Mountain. Taiyuan Jinshui basically comes from Taiyuan Mountain, the ancient treasure land. However, Taiyuan Mountain has not been occupied by any force or race, and belongs to the public ancient treasure land. The reason why it was not occupied is because the Taiyuan Mountain is a special place. There is an ancient race in Taiyuan Mountain, and it is a very powerful ancient race. According to the intelligence, this ancient race is called the Ancient Giant Tortoise Clan, and Taiyuan Mountain is carried on its tortoise shell. The cultivation base of this ancient giant tortoise has reached 9 times of blood change, and the horror of defense cannot even be broken by many strong men of 9 times of blood change. Fortunately, this ancient giant tortoise likes to sleep, so as long as no one disturbs it, it will not wake up. Because of this, no force is willing to occupy Taiyuan Mountain, otherwise it will be miserable if the ancient giant tortoise is awakened. In addition, the cultivation level above the 7th blood transformation realm cannot approach Taiyuan Mountain. Only 7 times the blood-changing creatures have passed, and the ancient giant tortoise has been awakened. After that, the ancient giant tortoise swallowed the 7-time blood-change creature in one bite, and fell into a deep sleep again. From then on, the powerhouses of the 7 blood changes will not go to Taiyuan Mountain again. But Taiyuan Mountain is a little dangerous. If it is not strong enough, it is easy to fall. The most suitable cultivation base to go to Taiyuan Mountain is 5 blood changes and 6 blood changes. Therefore, many ancestors who have 5 or 6 blood changes will go to Taiyuan Mountain to take risks. If they find a lot of treasures, they will earn money. After Yi Tian carefully understood the information on Taiyuan Mountain, he was ready to go to Taiyuan Mountain. Taiyuan Mountain is a little far from Wanyu City, and it is even farther from White Elephant City. Yi Tian set out from Wanyu City and shuttled continuously in the impact current of the territorial sea. Along the way, he did not encounter any trouble, and this place is much safer than the territory near White Elephant City. At least in the case of not exposing huge wealth, even if it is a blood change, the ancestors dare to run around. If in the White Elephant City, the practitioners of a bloody transformation run around, I am afraid that they will die soon. Yi Tian finally arrived at Taiyuan Mountain after traveling constantly. What a powerful breath! Yi Tian felt the breath of the ancient giant tortoise, but the other party was still in a state of deep sleep and his breath was restrained. Just a little breath that escaped made a blood-changing realm ancestor like him feel terrifying. One can imagine how terrifying the strength of the ancient giant tortoise is once it wakes up. Swish! Yi Tian approached the ancient giant tortoise, and then went straight to the treasure land of Taiyuan Mountain on its back. Taiyuan Mountain Treasure Land is a complete primordial treasure land, with only one entrance, like an abyss that swallows the incoming blood transformation realm powerhouse. As soon as Yi Tian approached this entrance, he was sucked by a suction force. He could resist, but not necessarily. In an instant, Yi Tian entered Taiyuan Mountain through this entrance. Inside Taiyuan Mountain, the repression here is great, not only from the repression of the Taiyuan Mountain Treasure Land, but also from the repression of the ancient giant tortoise. As a result, after every blood change realm powerhouse enters here, it seems to be burdened with an unimaginable sense of heaviness. I have to find Taiyuan Jinshui, I hope I can find enough Taiyuan Jinshui. Yi Tian said expectantly. Swish! He chose a direction and quickly escaped. Soon, he encountered the native creatures of Taiyuan Mountain. Boom! A creature with 5 blood transitions stopped him. This blood transition creature looked very strange. It was obviously a snake-shaped creature, but the skin scales on its body were like pieces of turtle shells. Yi Tian guessed that under the influence of the breath of this creature, the ancient giant tortoise has changed, and the bloodline of the ancient giant tortoise has changed. It can be said that the native creatures of Taiyuan Mountain all have the blood of the ancient times. Although they are not of the ancient race, their strength is very extraordinary. Boom! Yi Tian fought against it, easily suppressed the opponent, and only wounded it, it ran away. The opponent ran away, Yi Tian did not go after him, his purpose of 5.9 was just to find Taiyuan Jinshui. On the next journey, he encountered many native creatures, but also encountered other practitioners and some foreign blood-changing creatures. However, after searching for a long time, he could not find a drop of Taiyuan gold water. If you look for it like this, the efficiency is too slow. It is too difficult to collect thousands of drops of Taiyuan Jinshui. Yi Tian thought for a while, and it seemed that there was only one way to quickly obtain the Taiyuan golden water, and that was to mix with the native creatures here. This day, Yi Tian encountered a giant tortoise-like blood-change creature, and the other party was a native creature here, and such a giant tortoise-like blood-change creature seemed to be not weak in Taiyuan Mountain. Therefore, after he was going to kill this giant tortoise-like blood-change creature, he copied a giant tortoise-like blood-change creature to duplicate its body, thus mixing into this race. Chapter 2465 Bottlenecks and Breakthroughs. Boom! Yi Tian slapped this giant tortoise creature in the blood transformation realm to death with a slap. Then, he started to duplicate the giant tortoise creature to duplicate the body. After the copy was successful, Yi Tian used this giant tortoise clone to roam around Taiyuan Mountain, looking for other giant tortoise creatures. This place should be very close to the old lair of the giant tortoise, so he did not take long to encounter other giant tortoises, and then waited for them to return to the giant tortoise's lair. A lot of giant tortoises. The giant tortoise is the racial name for these giant tortoises. When Yi Tian came here, he saw a lot of giant tortoises in the blood transmutation realm, and among them there were 6 giant tortoises in the blood transformation realm. 1, 2, 3, Yi Tian has discovered about a dozen giant tortoises that have undergone 6 blood changes, and the scale of such strength is already very powerful, no less than the scale of the King Kong snake family. However, the Tai giant tortoise family does not have 7 blood changes creatures. It should be the environment of the treasure land of Taiyuan Mountain, which made it difficult for the Tai giant tortoise family to give birth to 7 blood changes. Not only the Tai giant tortoise clan, but also other Taiyuan Mountain native 29 creatures, it seems that they have never heard of the 7 blood changes here. Perhaps because of the suppression of the ancient giant tortoise, it is difficult for the 7 blood-changing creatures to appear here. However, because some creatures in the 6 blood transitions have been unable to break through the 7 blood transitions, they continue to temper their bodies at the 6 blood transition levels, making their bodies stronger and stronger, and even study various abilities. There may be powerful creatures comparable to the average 7 blood shift creatures. These powerful creatures may be slightly worse than the world-breaking genius, but their strength is strong enough that they are not world-breaking geniuses, so they can't deal with it at all. Many Tai giant tortoises knew Yi Tian, the original identity of the cloned body, and some came to say hello, but he ignored them. After all, he didn't understand the situation, so he didn't communicate with them more. Even if these Tai giant tortoises felt very confused, they would not doubt its identity, only thinking that something happened to Yi Tian and he was in a bad mood. In the following years, Yi Tian integrated into the Tai giant tortoise clan, and gradually understood the status of this identity, and began to contact with other Tai giant tortoises. This day, Yi Tian found out that the Tai giant tortoise clan has Taiyuan Jinshui, and there are a lot of them. However, the Tai giant turtle clan used Taiyuan gold water to make wine and entertain other companions. Seeing this scene, he was really stunned. Thinking about it carefully, he also felt very normal. After all, the Taiyuan Jinshui is only of great use to the practitioners. For a blood-changed race like the Tai giant tortoise, the Taiyuan Jinshui only tempers the body and makes the body better, and cannot help them break through the realm. In this way, I can easily trade Taiyuan Jinshui from these giant tortoises. Yi Tian thought. So, in the following years, Yi Tian collected the resources needed by the Taiyuan giant tortoise, secretly handed it over to the Tai giant tortoise's copy body, and then used it to trade with other Tai giant tortoises. Are you really using these resources to trade this water with me? When a giant tortoise saw that Yi Tian was going to trade Taiyuan Jinshui with it, and it was still using very precious resources, it was a little stunned. Yes, I like to drink this water. Yi Tian nodded. Okay, then I'll trade with you. 1. The terrifying giant tortoise agreed. Next, Yi Tian continued to trade with other Taiyuan giant tortoises and obtained more and more Taiyuan golden water. The efficiency of collecting Taiyuan golden water was too high and it was too easy. In a short period of time, he obtained tens of thousands of drops of Taiyuan golden water from the ancient giant tortoise clan. And if the resources he paid were from the outside world, it is estimated that even 10 drops of Taiyuan gold water could not be bought. Afterwards, Yi Tian sent these Taiyuan golden water to the replica body of the real body. When Taiyuan Jinshui was in hand, Yi Tian immediately left Taiyuan Mountain. After all, leave early, and be safe early. If the ancient giant tortoise wakes up, those intruders will be in danger. Universal City. Yi Tian came back and began to retreat and practice in the place where he lived for a long time. Drop by drop of Taiyuan golden water was absorbed and refined by Yi Tian, which was used to temper his heart. As the years passed, Yi Tian's heart became stronger and stronger. In the blink of an eye, he has refined more than 1,800 drops of Taiyuan golden water, and his heart has been refined to the extreme of the 3 blood transformations. Moreover, he is in a bottleneck, and there is no way to break through for the time being. Finally hit a bottleneck, Yi Tian muttered. Before, as long as he had the resources, he could easily break the shackles, but this time he became an ancient genius, and his physical foundation was too terrifying. If he wanted to continue to break through the realm, he would easily encounter bottlenecks. But every time you break through, the strength increase is also extremely terrifying. Continuing to use Taiyuan gold water to temper the heart is a waste of resources. When the bottleneck is relaxed, use Taiyuan gold water to break through. Yi Tian thought to himself. Taiyuan Mountain. Yi Tian's real copy body came here again. He wanted to fight with the top 5 blood-changing creatures here, and grind himself through countless fights to break the bottleneck. At the beginning, the 5 blood transformation creatures that Yi Tian encountered were not strong, and after fighting for a long time, he couldn't bear his Taiku Divine Demon Fist and finally lost in his hands. But on the day of 310, he encountered a very powerful creature with 5 blood changes, the red blood dragon ape. This scarlet-blooded dragon ape has almost reached the extremity of 5 blood change creatures, and the combat power is so terrifying that Yi Tian was almost completely suppressed and beaten by the opponent. But gradually, under the pressure of the opponent, Yi Tian's aura became stronger and stronger, and his understanding of the ancient art of the ancient magic fist became deeper and deeper. Years go by. Yi Tian didn't know how many battles he had fought with this scarlet-blooded dragon ape. Every time he lost, but every time he owed a battle, he could grow up. This day, during Yi Tian's battle, his immemorial god and demon fist's perception suddenly skyrocketed, and his power increased sharply. At the same time, he felt that his bottleneck seemed to be cracked a little. So, he got rid of the red blood dragon ape, came out from Taiyuan Mountain, and returned to Universal City. After returning, he immediately began refining Taiyuan Jinshui. With the consumption of a large amount of Taiyuan gold water, his bottleneck continued to crack. Boom! The bottleneck is completely broken, and there is no more shackles ahead. In an instant, Yi Tian's heart began to transform, constantly swallowing the energy of the outside world to make up for himself. After a long time, the transformation of the heart was completed, resulting in the 4th blood change in the whole body. As long as he waits for the completion of the 4th blood change of infinite blood, he will become the ancestor of the 4th blood change. Chapter 2466 Take away the ancient golden leaf. Open black lens bracket. Seeking full order. Close black lens bracket. Time has passed, many years have passed. Yi Tian's boundless blood finally completed the 4th transformation. At this moment, Yi Tian's flesh and blood continued to become stronger, until after a long time, he completely entered the realm of 4 blood changes. Breakthrough, 4 blood transitions. With my current strength, it should be comparable to the top 6 blood transitions. Tianzu. Yi Tian said confidently. With his current strength, as long as he does not encounter 7 blood changes, there is almost no danger. Go to the Wanyu Tower and see if you can pass the 12th floor of the Wanyu Tower. Soon, Yi Tian entered the Wanyu Tower. 12th floor. Here, Yi Tian encountered a heavenly ancestor of the 6th blood transformation realm. Afterwards, Yi Tian fought against him, easily defeated him, and then broke into the 13th floor. The strength of the ancestors of the 13th floor is in the top 6 blood changes. Yi Tian also fought with him for a long time, relying on the ancient technique. He was so injured that it was difficult to recover, and only then did he win. After breaking through the 13th floor, his authority has also been greatly improved. Subsequently, Yi Tian continued to retreat and used Taiyuan golden water to temper his heart. However, the effect of Taiyuan Jinshui is greatly reduced. If you want to temper your heart to the limit of 4 blood changes, you will probably need more than 100,000 Taiyuan Jinshui. In a short period of time, Yi Tian could not have obtained so much Taiyuan gold water. However, he still refined the Taiyuan golden water in his hand one by one, as much as he could refine. In the years that followed, Yi Tian's strength increased very little, and there was no way to make his strength skyrocket in a short period of time. Unless I can get another ancient technique. Yi Tian muttered. He checked the universe time and space trading network, and there was no one of the blood change realm ancestors selling the ancient art, but he still found some news about the ancient art in the universe city. The top blood changing realm races like the primordial demon ape clan and the white shadow clan all possess the techniques of primordial ancient. But under normal circumstances, it is good to have an ancient art inheritance. Moreover, Yi Tian also found out about the origin of the ancient technique. Before the immemorial age of territorial sea boundaries, an ancient golden tree was born, and these ancient golden trees were covered with ancient golden leaves. Under the evolution of the long years, these ancient golden leaves have nurtured a door of ancient techniques. Later, the ancient war broke out, countless ancient races fell, and pieces of ancient golden leaves were scattered everywhere. Some were acquired by the top primal races, and some fell into unknown places. With the passage of time, the primordial races in the territorial seas and seas continued to fight, and the number of primordial races still alive was much rarer. As for the ancient golden leaf, it is becoming more and more rare. After all, the race that has the ancient golden leaf will not say it, and the ancient golden leaf that is really exposed is very rare. Moreover, Yi Tian finally knew why the Taiku Golden Tortoise clan did not take away the Taiku Golden Leaf. First of all, moving the ancient golden leaf requires very strong strength, at least 6 times of blood change realm strength, and secondly, once it is moved, the ancient golden leaf will emit strong fluctuations and spread to very distant areas. In this way, the breath of the ancient golden leaf is exposed. If you want to cover up the breadth of the ancient golden leaf, you need at least the strength of 8 blood changes. However, the primordial golden turtle clan did not have 8 blood change creatures, otherwise they would not be afraid of the primordial demon ape clan. Of course, there is another way to cover up the fluctuations when the immemorial golden leaf moves, and that is to use immemorial techniques to seal it up. My current strength is comparable to that of the top 6 blood transitions. I can move the ancient golden leaf, and I can use the ancient technique to seal the ancient golden leaf, so that the ancient golden leaf does not emit fluctuations. In this way, I take that ancient golden leaf, and no one knows about it. However, he had already released the cloned body of the ancient golden tortoise where the ancient golden leaf was located. If he wants to take away the ancient golden leaf, he must go to that place again. Taiku Turtle C. Yi Tian's duplicate body came here again, but found a few white images hidden nearby. The Bai Yingxiang clan even sent their clansmen to guard here again. It seems that I asked the ancient golden blood last time to attract their attention. 1. Yi Tian muttered. However, these white shadows are not powerful, they are only 5 blood changes. Thinking of the fact that the Bai Yingxiang clan had attacked his cloned body before, he naturally wouldn't be polite to these Bai Yingxiangs. So, he copied several copies of the body, ready to shoot at these white images at the same time, kill them instantly so that they don't even have a chance to communicate. Soon, Yi Tian shot. Boom. Although several white images were in different positions, they were instantly killed by Yi Tian at the same time. Then, Yi Tian released the cloned body of an ancient golden tortoise that had already been copied, found that position, and escaped into it again. Swire gold leaf is still there. Yi Tian immediately used the ancient technique of the ancient magic fist to gather a force to wrap the ancient golden leaf and seal it up. Then, he grabbed the immemorial golden leaf and pulled it hard. Last time, he couldn't shake this ancient golden leaf, but now he can easily shake it. Swish! Yi Tian took this ancient golden leaf, put it away, and escaped from here. Then, he escaped at the fastest speed and disappeared. Soon after, one after another, the blood-changing realm powerhouses of the White Shadows came here, including Chihei, who had 7 blood-changing realms. The several clansmen who were sent to monitor here were all killed, and they were killed instantly. They didn't even have time to react. The minimum shot was 6 blood changes, and there were more than 1. Chihei judged good road. Who killed it? The primordial golden turtle clan. Ji Heng asked. It shouldn't be the primordial golden turtle clan, where would they dare to kill our white shadow clan? It should be other forces. For example, when there was a 3-time blood-changing creature to collect the ancient golden blood, the other party directly committed suicide, perhaps the one who controlled him. The mastermind behind the scenes may have even taken away the ancient golden leaf. Chihei guessed. Won't there be fluctuations when the ancient golden leaf is taken away? Said a young man with a white image in the bloody realm. If there are 8 blood changes, there will be no fluctuations. Kai, he said solemnly. 8 blood changes. The complexion of many blood changes changed. This is a strong man comparable to the patriarch. Let's go. The other party has long since disappeared, and we can't find it either. As for the piece of ancient golden leaf, there is a high probability that it is gone. Kai, he left. The other white images also left. Chapter 2467 Primordial God Realm. Universal City. Yi Tian returned here, with a piece of ancient gold leaf already on his body. For him, the value of this piece of ancient gold leaf is too great, but he can't just take it out to sell or trade other ancient gold leaves. Otherwise, he can't keep it at all. First of all, he is unknown now. If some powerful blood transformation realm heavenly ancestor knows that he has the ancient golden leaf in his hand, he only thinks that he is a lucky blood transformation realm and will directly attack him. He must build himself into an immemorial genius of the top forces. After such a prominent reputation, and then take out the immemorial golden leaf, only the forces will trade with him or learn from each other, and he will not dare to attack him. After thinking about it, the fastest way to become famous is to fight. Of course, it is impossible for him to find a lot of blood transformation realm ancestors to fight and kill for no reason, it would be too easy to offend many forces. At this time, he thought of a place. Ancient God Realm. Before, when he learned about the primordial God Realm, he wanted to enter and play, but because he had to practice to break through the realm of the ancestors of the 4 blood changes, he did not enter. Now, just in need of fame, the primordial God Realm is undoubtedly the most suitable place. In his opinion, the primordial God Realm is similar to a game, in which each heavenly ancestor integrates the fixed will of number 310, and condenses a body in the primordial God Realm. Due to the rules of the primordial god realm, the physical strength of each heavenly ancestor in the primordial god realm is exactly the same, but because it is the condensed will of the infinite, it contains its own imprint, and any means can be used. Yes, it is to simulate the physical body of the outside world, but everyone's flesh and blood are the same strength. In the primordial god realm, all heavenly ancestors can participate in the challenge, and the result of each challenge will be recorded, which will form the record of each heavenly ancestor. The better the record, the greater the reputation. And there are many honors, such as 10-game winning streak, 100-game winning streak, 1,000-game winning streak, 10,000-game winning streak, etc. Not only that, but also income. For example, in a challenge battle, if other heavenly ancestors of the blood transformation realm want to watch the battle, they must pay to watch it. Although the fee is not much, if the number of heavenly ancestors watching the battle is large, it is also a considerable amount of income. For example, some heavenly ancestors are very famous, and instead of looking for resources and opportunities, they rely on the immemorial god realm to earn primordial gold. Certainly, the winner can only get half of the cost of watching the battle, and the other half belongs to the primordial god realm. But even so, countless ancestors want to win a game, so there will be income. If you want to enter the primordial god realm, you must buy a primordial divine order from the primordial territory. Yi Tian went directly to the immemorial god realm pavilion branch in Wanyu City, where primordial divine tokens were sold, and the price was not cheap. One primordial divine token was priced at 100 primordial gold. If it is those who are in the fusion realm, they will definitely not be able to afford it, unless they have a background. Therefore, almost all the ancestors in the ancient god realm were the ancestors of the blood transformation realm. Soon, Yi Tian bought an ancient divine order and refined it. Yi Tian's immeasurable will was integrated into the primordial divine order, but it could only accommodate a small part of it. It would be impossible to continue to accommodate more immeasurable will. No matter who it is, it can only accommodate so many boundless wills, so it is only fair. Primordial god realm, Yi Tian's boundless will entered here, and quickly condensed a body under the rules here. This body is very weak, it is only equivalent to the weakest body of the heavenly ancestor in the fusion state. Yi Tian judged. At the beginning, he was still not used to it, but he quickly got used to it and completely controlled this body. At this time, he was in the personal space of the primordial god realm. Then, he registered and filled in the information. A personal record box appears. Account: Endless Heavenly Ancestor. Record: 0 wins and 0 losses. Name: none. Balance: 0. The balance here can be exchanged for Taiku gold, and the 1,000 balance income can be exchanged for a piece of Taiku gold, which can be exchanged at the Taiku God Realm Pavilion. Of course, CJFJ can also be recharged at the Taiku God Realm Pavilion. Apply for the challenge. Currently applying. In the line. At the same time, the primordial god realm sent him a message, that is, he is a newly registered heavenly ancestor of the blood transformation realm. The first 100 battles do not require any fees, and he can participate in the challenge for free. However, after 100 battles, if you want to participate in the challenge, you need to pay. Of course, the fee is not high, you only need to pay 100 points, which means that you need to pay the price of a piece of Taiku gold to participate in 10 games. If you want to reduce the entry fee, there are many channels, such as obtaining a title. Each additional title will have a reduction or exemption, and if there are more titles, there is no need for any entry fee. Soon, Yi Tian's challenge application was successful. In the teleportation room, Yi Tian was directly teleported away and entered the challenge space of the primordial god realm. Since it was the first time to participate, his opponent could not be very strong. It was estimated that he would be a very ordinary heavenly ancestor of the blood transformation realm, or even a heavenly ancestor of the melting body realm. Of course, in the primordial god realm, everyone's body strength is the same, so they can't see the cultivation realm of other heavenly ancestors. Challenge space. Yi Tian appeared here with another Tianzu. Records can be hidden or made public. At this time, Yi Tian's record was public, and the opponent's record was also public. Open black lens bracket 27 wins and 879 losses close black lens bracket. It can be seen from the record that this is a weak chicken. At this time, this Tianzu was also observing Yi Tian's record. Rookie, maybe I can win a game. This Tianzu thought to himself. The challenge begins. Boom, Yi Tian directly smashed over with a punch, only using the extreme technique. However, the other party couldn't stop it at all. Click. With one punch, the opponent's body was directly blown up. Killed in one stroke, somewhere in the territorial sea. A heavenly ancestor came out of the primordial god realm and frowned slightly. It's a bit unlucky, this newcomer is so fierce, I was killed by one move. He once again integrated part of the boundless will into it, and entered the immemorial god realm again. A victory, but unfortunately there is no Tianzu to watch the battle, and there is no income. Yi Tian murmured. This is normal, after all, he is not very famous, and the other party also dares to be weak, who will watch this game. However, as he continues to win, he will definitely meet the popular Tianzu, and there will be more Tianzu watching the battle. At that time, as long as he wins, the income from watching the game will belong to him. Go ahead and apply for the challenge. In the following days, Yi Tian applied for one challenge after another, but sometimes it took some time for the application to succeed. After all, the primordial god realm had to arrange a suitable Tianzu to fight against him, which would take time. Chapter 2468 100 consecutive victories. It's been a 9-game winning streak, and the 10th challenge is about to begin. Yi Tian muttered. According to the rules of the immemorial god realm, in the 10th game of the 10-game winning streak, an opponent who is not weak will be arranged. This title is still very useful, such as getting more attention, and reducing the cost of participation. However, without a certain strength, there is no way to get 10 consecutive victories. Suddenly, the immemorial god realm reminded him that the application for the 10th challenge was successful. Yi Tian entered the primordial god realm and was soon teleported to the challenge field of the primordial god realm, and his opponent was also teleported in. At this time, Yi Tian found that the number of spectators was finally not zero, and soon dozens of heavenly ancestors were watching the game. Obviously, these people did not come to see him, but to see the opponent. Purple Sea Heavenly Ancestor. Yi Tian could see from his record that the opponent's strength was very good, and 70% of them were winning records. 9 wins and 0 losses. Seeing Yi Tian's record, Zihai Tianzu immediately became serious. This means that Yi Tian's strength is very strong, and he may not be able to win. At this time, more and more heavenly ancestors poured in to watch the battle, and these heavenly ancestors intertwined and communicated with each other in the void. Zihai Tianzu has come to the challenge again, who is the opposite, very unfamiliar. I just checked this Tianzu's record, 9 wins and 0 losses, this is his 10-game winning streak challenge. The Endless Heavenly Ancestor, I haven't heard of it, but to be able to win 9 consecutive victories, his strength must be good. However, the strength of the Zihai Heavenly Ancestor is very powerful. Zihai Tianzu is the top 6-time Blood Change Realm Tianzu. Even in the Primordial God Realm, his combat power is already very strong. I think he still has great hope in this game. Soon, the battle began. Yi Tian didn't expose the ancient technique, he only thought that the extreme technique would fight. Even if he doesn't use the ancient technique, he is also a world-breaking genius, so with the same physical strength, only a world-breaking genius can fight with him. Boom! The extreme technique erupted, and one blow shattered Zihai Tianzu's body. Although the opponent did not die, his body was cracked, and he couldn't take a few moves at all. Breakthrough-level genius. Zihai Tianzu was stunned, he was so unlucky, he met a genius who broke the world, and he became the witness of the opponent's 10-game winning streak. Swish! Yi Tian attacked again, and the extreme technique erupted again. Zihai Tianzu used all kinds of defense-type immeasurable magical powers, but he still couldn't hold it. Then, another move struck. This time, Zihai Tianzu was directly killed. Zihai Tianzu was defeated, and the opponent turned out to be a world-breaking genius. Where did the world-breaking genius come from? Why haven't I heard of it? A world-breaking genius, as long as you're not too unlucky, you can almost complete a 1000-game winning streak. Hurry up and spread the news, a new world-breaking genius has entered the primordial god realm, and it is estimated that we will soon be able to see the confrontation between the world-breaking geniuses. Soon, the news spread, and many people were waiting for Yi Tian's next challenge. After completing 10 consecutive victories, Yi Tian returned to the personal space of the immemorial god realm. At this time, there is another title on his record, 10 consecutive victories. Moreover, he also won the spectator share this time. 2,570 points. This point is not high, and when converted into ancient gold, it is only more than 2 pieces of ancient gold. But, it's a win. In this way, every challenge game has such benefits, and you can get a lot of ancient gold by fighting in the ancient gods all the time, which is faster than going out to find resources. Certainly, If there are too many challenge matches, few people will be willing to watch it in the later stage, especially if they kill the enemy every time and are invincible in the primordial god realm, then it will be boring. Hey, there is an ancestor who is following me. He could see how many Tianzu paid attention to him. This kind of attention can make the ancestors know each other's dynamics more quickly. For example, if the ancestor who is concerned participates in the challenge, the other ancestors will soon receive the news and enter the primordial god realm to watch the battle. This is somewhat similar to the previous live broadcasts on Earth. The incomparably distant memory seems to have returned. This feeling is too familiar. Soon, more and more ancestors paid attention to him. It should be the news of a world-breaking genius, so many ancestors are paying attention to me. Yi Tian guessed. He then went on to apply for the challenge. A mere 10-game winning streak is naturally not worth mentioning, and he still has to challenge a 100-game winning streak and a 1000-game winning streak. Soon, Yi Tian had his 11th challenge match. This time, Xiao Tianzu watched the battle. For flowers, the opponent in the 11th challenge match was very weak, and was instantly killed by Yi Tian in one move. The world-breaking genius is too powerful. I'm not interested in such a challenge. After he wins 100 consecutive victories, I will come back to watch the game, said an ancestor. After all, there is a fee to watch the battle, so there is no need to watch this kind of an interesting battle. However, there are still ancestors who are rich and powerful, and don't care about this cost. Therefore, there are still many ancestors watching every challenge of Yi Tian. As time passed, Yi Tian's winning streak became more and more. 20 straight wins, 30 straight wins, 40 straight wins. After a long time, Yi Tian finally ushered in his 100th challenge match. Apply for the challenge. Point 0. This time, he waited a little longer, and the ancestors paid more attention to him. It is conceivable that in the 100th game, the number of Tianzu concerned will definitely be many, beyond his imagination. After a long time, the application for the challenge was successful, and the primordial god realm arranged an opponent for him. Primordial god realm. Challenge space. Yi Tian came in, and another heavenly ancestor also came in. At this time, the number of spectating ancestors soared at an incredible speed. 100,000, 200,000, 300,000. In no time, it was over 500,000. There are so many ancestors of the ancient gods. Yi Tian was surprised. However, when one thinks of many top blood-changing realm races, there are often tens of thousands or even 100,000 clansmen, and every clan is a blood-changing realm, so it is normal for practitioners to have so many blood-changing realms. It can only be said that Wanlong's territorial waters are too weak, so he feels that this number is exaggerated. The 100-game winning streak challenge of the world-breaking genius Endless Heavenly Ancestor has begun. The other party is the Lone Star Heavenly Ancestor. What the hell, this is the Heavenly Ancestor of the 7th Blood Transformation realm. What about the Heavenly Ancestor of the 7th Blood Transformation? Here the physical strength is the same, and the infinite will is the same. He is not a world-breaking genius, and he can only see his own means. The Lone Star Heavenly Ancestor still can't beat the world-breaking genius in the primordial god realm. Ah, it's a loser. It's worth the cost to be able to see the battle of a world-breaking genius domain Guxing Tianzu. The Lone Star Tianzu is good at speed and should be able to persist for a while without being killed in seconds. Under the watch of many ancestors, Yi Tian and Guxing Tianzu fought corpses. Chapter 2469 The Battle of the World-Breaking Genius. Open black lens bracket full order close black lens bracket. The challenge begins. Guxing Tianzu immediately performed a top-notch technique of infinite supernatural powers, the technique of falling stars. After casting Falling Star, Lone Star Tianzu's speed reached a terrifying level. The art of staring, starlights pierced through the void, and the power of each starlight reached an extremely powerful level. However, Yi Tian displayed his 10-armed golden body, ignoring this star technique, and immediately punched it, bursting out the power of the extreme technique. Boom! Void burst. Ji Yuxing Tianzu was attacked by the aftermath, and he seemed to be unable to bear it and quickly retreated. Yi Tian regards himself as a pole, and uses the technique of the pole to travel in an instant, which is faster than the Lone Star Heavenly Ancestor. Not good. Ji Yuxing Tianzu's expression changed and he tried to resist, but it was too late for 310. Boom! Punch down. Lone Star Tianzu's body was directly pierced. Next moment, Guxing Tianzu's body turned into countless starlights scattered and gathered in another place. This is another immeasurable magical technique, the technique of transforming stars. The technique of falling stars, the technique of spotting stars, and the technique of transforming stars are the techniques of fame and immeasurable magical powers of the Guxing Tianzu. But at this moment, in front of Yi Tian, these three immeasurable divine powers are not very useful. The speed of this endless heavenly ancestor is too fast, even faster than that of the lone star heavenly ancestor. Furthermore, the lone star ancestor can't withstand the attack of the endless heavenly ancestor at all. The endless heavenly ancestor is probably at the top of the world-breaking geniuses. 1. Ji Yuxing Tianzu can't hold on to a few more tricks, his immeasurable magical powers are useless at all. The strength of the endless heavenly ancestor is too powerful. Which force's heavenly ancestor is he? Who knows which territorial sea he is from? Maybe he is a local practitioner of the territorial sea boundary seam. The strength of the territorial sea boundary seam is mixed, and it is difficult to investigate. While these ancestors were discussing, Yi Tian launched an attack on Guxing Tianzu again. Bang bang bang! Ji Yuxing Tianzu was blown up again and again by Yi Tian, and finally couldn't bear it and was completely killed. 100 consecutive victories reached. Primordial God Realm, personal space. After Yi Tian came back, he clicked and checked his balance. 60 million points. Yi Tian was extremely surprised. According to the exchange comparison, this is equivalent to 60,000 ancient gold. Perhaps 60,000 Taiku gold is not a lot for practitioners of the 7th blood transformation realm, but it is terrifying to get 60,000 Taiku gold in just one game. Moreover, this is only a 100-game winning streak. If he were to perform a 1,000-game winning streak or a 10,000-game winning streak challenge, the number of onlookers would be more, and he would receive more Taiku gold income. This is much more comfortable than collecting resources yourself. Go ahead and apply for the challenge. Yi Tian applied for his 101st match. However, in the challenge competition that followed, the number of celestial ancestors onlookers decreased sharply, but each time they could get several hundred pieces of ancient gold. In the back, the number of Tianzu onlookers is even smaller, and even only a few dozen pieces of ancient gold each time. There is no way, his strength is too strong. Every time he kills his opponent with one punch, it would be good to have Tianzu to see it. If I had known that every time I pretended to be evenly matched, maybe I would have seen more heavenly ancestors. Yi Tian thought to himself. But for Taiku Jin, doing this is not his original character. Time passed slowly, Yi Tian kept winning streak, and his reputation was getting bigger and bigger. 200 in a row. 300 in a row. 500 in a row. 800 consecutive victories. After a long time, Yi Tian finally applied for the 1,000th match. This will also be his 1,000-win streak challenge. The primordial god realm sent a message to every heavenly ancestor who paid attention to Yi Tian, plus the heavenly ancestor propaganda, so countless heavenly ancestors knew about Yi Tian's 1,000-winning streak challenge. Moreover, the 1,000-win streak challenge match is almost always a showdown of world-breaking talents, and there has never been an exception. Swire Territorial Waters. Hanging Mountain. As the world-breaking genius of Shuangkong Mountain, he was invited by the immemorial god realm to participate in the challenge. Of course, he could choose to refuse. In this way, the primordial god realm will invite other heavenly ancestors. I am a world-breaking genius, and the primordial god realm invites me. There is only one possibility, and that is the opponent is not ordinary. He agreed outright. Immediately, waiting for the notification from the primordial god realm, he directly entered the challenge space of the primordial god realm. Not long after, the notice from the primordial god realm came. Swish, Zhu Wu Tianzu entered the primordial god realm and came to the challenge space. And Yi Tian also came in. At the same time, countless ancestors poured into this challenge space to watch this game. Hey, the challenge object of the endless ancestors turned out to be the absolute ancestors. No heavenly ancestor is also a very powerful world-breaking genius. His cultivation has reached the heavenly ancestor of blood transformation realm 6 times, and the battle is equivalent to 7 blood transformation realm invincible. 2 world-breaking geniuses fight. I don't know who will win. Let's not talk about the real cultivation base of the outside world, just referring to the challenges in the primordial god realm, the hope of winning the endless ancestors is even greater. Because I often watch the games of the endless ancestors, I can see from their strength that it is better than the absolute ancestors. Wu Tianzu is more powerful. I think Zhu Wu Tianzu is more powerful. A lot of Tianzu watched the battle, and they broke 1 million so quickly. Yi Tian secretly said. Moreover, there are many ancestors who came in to watch the battle one after another. After a while, the challenge game officially started. Boom! Yi Tian and Zhu Wu Tianzu collided instantly. Void God Demon Fist. This is also an incomparably top-notch immeasurable divine power technique. If it were placed in Wanlong's territorial waters, it would definitely rank in the top 3, second only to Yi Tian's extreme technique. Boom! Yi Tian's extreme technique collided with the opponent's nihilistic god and magic fist, and the battle instantly became incandescent. 5.9 However, Yi Tian's extreme technique was more powerful, so he quickly gained a little advantage. For a heavenly ancestor like him, as long as he has a little advantage, he can seize the opportunity and continuously enlarge the advantage. As time passed, Zhu Wu Tianzu started to get hurt. 10-armed golden body. 10 arms cast extreme techniques one after another, bombarding Zhu Wu Tianzu's body again and again, hitting Zhu Wu Tianzu to shatter his body. Zhu Wu Tianzu is also very calm, showing all his methods without making any mistakes at all. Unfortunately, his strength is still slightly worse. In the end, no heavenly ancestor was defeated. This unparalleled heavenly ancestor is really powerful. If you don't rely on the immemorial divine demon fist, but only rely on the technique of immeasurable supernatural powers, it would be really difficult to defeat him. Yi Tian secretly said. Chapter 2470 The duel between two ancient geniuses seeking full order. After Yi Tian won, he returned to the personal space of the immemorial god realm. He took a look at the income of the Tianzu watching the battle, and he had 300 million points. If converted into ancient gold, it would be 300,000 ancient gold. For Yi Tian, this is a great fortune. Coupled with his usual income from watching games, the income is very considerable. Universal City. Yi Tian came to the Taiku God Realm Pavilion and exchanged 400,000 Taiku gold. After all, the balance point was useless in the Taiku God Realm, so he was relieved to exchange it. Only when you exchange it, it belongs to you. In the following years, Yi Tian continued to challenge in the immemorial God realm. His goal was to win 10,000 consecutive victories. If he achieved 10,000 consecutive victories, he would be truly famous. At present, although he has made a great reputation in the primordial God realm, for those real powerhouses, a world-breaking genius is nothing. Many forces possessed geniuses of the world-breaking level, and even a small place like Wanlong Territorial Sea had several geniuses breaking the world. Therefore, he wants to be famous for his 10,000 winning streak 29 plus the name of the ancient genius. Starting from the 1,000-game winning streak, the opponents he met later were very strong, and occasionally he would encounter a world-breaking genius, and his strength was at the top of the world-breaking genius. As a result, he defeated one world-breaking genius after another, and his reputation grew louder and louder. Long years have passed, Yi Tian's cultivation has not been delayed. He brought back some Taiyuan Jinshui from Taiyuan Mountain again and again, and constantly tempered his heart, making his heart continue to grow stronger. Moreover, he has the opportunity to purchase other resources that will help to temper his heart, so he has continued to improve in the 4 blood changes, gradually approaching the limit of the 4 blood changes. After many years, Yi Tian is about to hit his 10,000-time winning streak. At this time, many ancestors in the primordial god realm were discussing Yi Tian's 10,000 winning streak. The endless heavenly ancestor is going to have a 10,000 game winning streak challenge. Well, the 10,000 game winning streak challenge is about to begin. According to the past situation, the 10,000 game winning streak challenge will inevitably encounter an ancient genius, which is worth watching. 1. I don't know which immemorial genius was selected this time. Ha ha ha, there are only a few immemorial geniuses in the primordial god realm, we will know when the time comes. With the strength of the endless heavenly ancestor, he may be at the top of the world-breaking level geniuses, and few of the world-breaking level talents can beat him, but when he encounters an ancient level genius, his strength is still not enough. Anyway, the 10,000 game winning streak challenge match must be watched. Territorial Sea Boundary Seam, 100 Wasteland Treasures. A heavenly ancestor is practicing here. Suddenly, he opened his eyes and murmured, "The primordial god realm actually invited me to participate in the challenge. It seems that a certain heavenly ancestor is running a 10,000 game winning streak challenge." After thinking about it carefully, he did not refuse. As an immemorial genius, it has been a long time since he took a shot, so he could just use the platform of the immemorial god realm to fight. Agree. This heavenly ancestor entered the immemorial god realm. If there are other heavenly ancestors present, they will recognize his identity. Primordial genius, Haze. Hazy Tianzu is not only a genius at the ancient level, but also a Tianzu who has experienced 6 blood changes. His combat power is comparable to that of the 8 blood changes, and he is very famous in the Sea of Territorial Seas. In the past, Hazy Tianzu destroyed a top blood change race by himself, so his reputation resounded through the Sea of Territorial Seas. In the eyes of many blood transition races, Hazy Tianzu is a nightmare existence. The 10,000 game winning streak challenge is very important to the officials of the primordial god realm. Therefore, after Hazy Tianzu agrees, it will not be carried out immediately, but will have to be promoted first. Immediately, countless heavenly ancestors of the primordial god realm knew about this match. The opponent of Endless Heavenly Ancestor is Haze Heavenly Ancestor. Hazy Tianzu is an ancient genius, and his combat power is terrifying. I don't know how many tricks Endless Tianzu can insist on. Within 3 strokes, there is no doubt of death. Hazy Tianzu hasn't made a move for a long time. This time he made a move in the primordial god realm. It's worth seeing. 1. I'm going to watch the battle too, and I'll earn some ancient gold for Hazy Tianzu. Haze Tianzu should be able to earn more than 1 million Taiku gold this wave. Heavenly Ancestor, who is at the level of Heavenly Ancestor, doesn't care about the mere millions of Taiku gold. For him, it's just a little bit of money. Time passed, and the day of the challenge was getting closer. Finally, the challenge is here. Immemorial God Realm, Challenge Space. Yi Tian and Hazy Tianzu came here at the same time, waiting for the Taiku God Realm to announce the start of the challenge. At the same time, countless heavenly ancestors poured in instantly to watch this challenge match. 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, the number of heavenly ancestors is getting more and more terrifying, and even heavenly ancestors who have not appeared for countless years have come out. Imagine their anticipation for this fight. Of course, it was mainly due to the great reputation of the heavenly ancestor Haze, otherwise there would not be so many heavenly ancestors coming in to watch the battle. Endless Heavenly Ancestor, Haze Heavenly Ancestor, the challenge begins, please prepare. With the arrival of the hint from the immemorial god realm, Yi Tian and Hazy Tianzu began to prepare. Start, 310 accompanied by this voice, Hazy Tianzu shot. The ancient art, the ancient blood spear. Hazy Tianzu condensed a sharp blood-colored spear and stabbed Yi Tian. This is an ancient technique with terrifying attack power, and any genius who breaks the world will surely die as long as he is stabbed. In the face of an immemorial genius, Yi Tian will naturally no longer hide his clumsiness. If he still uses extreme techniques to deal with it, he will be defeated. The ancient art, the ancient magic fist. Yi Tian is also filled with the breath of ancient art. Boom! The collision between the primordial god demon fist and the primordial blood spear caused the challenge space to oscillate continuously. After this collision, Yi Tian and Hazy Tianzu separated. And the countless heavenly ancestors who were watching were shocked. The endless heavenly ancestor is not a world-breaking genius, he is an immemorial genius. An immemorial genius, we have only discovered it now. The endless heavenly ancestor is hidden too deep. The immemorial technique that the endless heavenly ancestor just performed is the immemorial god and demon fist. This is also an extremely powerful technique of immemorial age. It's interesting, I thought it was a one-sided battle, Hazy Tianzu easily killed the endless Tianzu, but now there is suspense. Ha ha ha, the duel between 2 ancient geniuses, this time watching the battle is so worth it. Chapter 2471 Win, make friends with Haze Tianzu open black lens bracket seeking full order close black lens bracket. It turned out to be an ancient genius. 1. Heavenly Ancestor Hazy showed interest. If it was only a world-breaking genius, it would be too boring. Only those who are also immemorial geniuses are qualified to be his opponents. Boom! Hazy Tianzu struggled with Yi Tian with his immemorial blood spear. In the primordial god realm, everyone's physical strength is the same, but the battle between Yi Tian and Hazy Tianzu is far from being comparable to other ancestors. The power of the primordial technique is too terrifying. Yi Tian and Hazy Tianzu are both immemorial geniuses, with the same physical strength, their combat power is almost the same. At this time, the competition is all about combat experience and the grasp of the battle rhythm. If one makes a mistake at any time, they will be completely defeated. And as the battle progressed, more heavenly ancestors came to watch the battle. Since the physical strength of Yi Tian and Hazy Tianzu is very general, the battle of the ancient art will cause great damage to the body. Therefore, such a battle cannot last. In terms of years of practice, Yi Tian is definitely far inferior to this heavenly ancestor Hazy. In terms of combat experience, he is even richer. An ancestor like Hazy Tianzu would not fight too much, and it would be impossible to risk his life in extreme battles again and again. And Yi Tian has a duplicate body, he doesn't know how many times he has fallen, so he has extremely rich experience in life and death fighting. With both Yi Tian and Hazy Tianzu's bodies getting injured, Hazy Tianzu gradually had loopholes, but Yi Tian was still very stable. Finally, Yi Tian seized the opportunity and used the ancient technique to directly smash Hazy Tianzu with a punch, aggravating his injury. Hazy Tianzu frowned, he actually fell behind. And the aggravation of this injury made him lose the opportunity, and he was passive everywhere in the battle after that. Soon, Hazy Tianzu's injuries became more and more serious. Seeing this scene, all the onlookers were stunned. Hazy Tianzu is at a disadvantage, and Endless Tianzu is afraid to win. The immemorial genius Hazy Tianzu, who has been famous for countless years, is about to lose. The news spreads, and I am afraid it will shake the sea and the sea. 1. It's not over yet, there might be a reversal. Yeah, as long as it's not over, it's hard to say what the result will be, maybe it will turn over after the Hazy Tianzu. However, there was no turnaround. In the end, Hazy Tianzu lost. Boom, with one punch, Hazy Tianzu was blasted and his body was annihilated. I actually lost, this endless heavenly ancestor has richer combat experience than me, and must be an immemorial genius who has fought for countless years, why haven't I heard of it before? Hazy Tianzu was puzzled. He immediately went to the Wanyu Tower to see if Yi Tian was a member of the Wanyu Tower. Not long after, he came to the Wanyu Tower and investigated the Endless Heavenly Ancestor through his authority. Soon, information about the Endless Heavenly Ancestor appeared. Endless Heavenly Ancestor, 4 blood changes Heavenly Ancestor. Seeing this information, he was stunned. He also thought that Yi Tian, like him, was an ancestor of 6 or even 7 blood transitions, but it turned out to be only 4 blood transitions. Could it be the immemorial genius newly cultivated by some top hegemon level force? Hazy Tianzu thought to himself. Primordial God Realm, personal space. Yi Tian returned here and took a look at the income from watching the game this time. 3 billion balance points. Yi Tian is in a good mood. This is equivalent to 3 million Taiku gold. He earned so much Taiku gold in one game. It is conceivable how many heavenly ancestors had just watched the battle between him and Hazy Heavenly Ancestor. It can be said that he is completely on fire now. He then went on to apply for the challenge. But for a long time, there was no row. It seems that I have 10,000 won consecutive victories. If I want to continue the challenge, it is estimated that I will apply for a long time before I can be ranked. Yi Tian muttered. Of course, as long as you can play a game, you will make a lot of money. This is enough. Moreover, his purpose has been achieved, and he is completely famous in the Sea of Territorial Seas. Universal City. Yi Tian suddenly felt the prying eyes of the Heavenly Ancestor, and Boundless will immediately probe the past, and immediately sensed the breath of the Heavenly Ancestor highs. Hazy Tianzu. He knew he should have been exposed. However, he didn't care. Hazy Tianzu, please come in. Yi Tian asked Hazy Tianzu to come. Hazy Tianzu came to Yi Tian, looked at Yi Tian, and said, I thought that the one who defeated me was a certain 6 times blood change level immemorial genius, but I didn't expect that there were only 4 blood changes. Your cultivation base is like this. Low, but you have experienced countless battles, and with such a terrifying combat experience, it is hard for me to imagine which force cultivated you. If Heavenly Ancestor Hazy wants to know which faction I am from, then forgive me and have no comment. Yi Tian said. Don't worry, I'm not interested in this, I'm just here to get to know the Endless Heavenly Ancestor. For us immemorial geniuses, the other ordinary Heavenly Ancestors of blood transformation are too weak. When I break through to the 7 blood transformations, I will be fine. I have swept away those Heavenly Ancestors of the 9 blood changes, and they are not qualified to be my friends. Hazy Tianzu is very arrogant, but he has this qualification. Subsequently, Yi Tian chatted with Hazy Tianzu. In the following years, Yi Tian and Hazy Tianzu gradually became familiar with each other, and at the same time, they also entered the Primordial God Realm to learn from each other. Primordial God Realm not only has challenge competitions, but also personal space competitions. You only need to spend a little balance point to compete in Primordial God Realm. Yi Tian and Hazy Tianzu discussed each other, and every time they ended with Yi Tian winning, which made Hazy Tianzu very unconvinced and asked Yi Tian to discuss each time. This day, Yi Tian went to Hazy Tianzu, and wanted to ask Hazy Tianzu if he had the idea of comprehending the ancient art of each other. Do you want to learn the second ancient art? Hazy Tianzu was shocked. Yes. Yi Tian nodded. Hazy Tianzu said. Endless Tianzu, I have to remind you that the chance of practicing the second ancient technique is very low, at least 10 times more difficult than the first ancient technique. Failure to cultivate an ancient art has side effects. Once my ancient blood spear fails, it will have a great impact on the foundation of my body. At the beginning, if the forces I belong to did not try their best to attract countless treasures to restore the foundation, otherwise I would impossible to practice at all. I just want to try it. Yi Tian said. Can you take out the ancient golden leaves of your forces? Asked Hazy Tianzu. Can. Yi Tian should be young. Aren't you afraid that I will snatch your ancient golden leaf? Hazy Tianzu was curious. After all, whoever owns the ancient golden leaf would not dare to say it. If Yi Tian dared to take it out, he might be robbed. What's more, Yi Tian has only had 4 blood changes, and his cultivation is too weak. If it is taken away, then you will offend a powerful enemy, Heavenly Ancestor Hazy. This one of mine is not the real body, Yi Tian said with a smile. Doppelganger, primordial clone. Hazy Tianzu was shocked. This is an immemorial avatar that he does not have. Yi Tian actually has it. Which mysterious force does he come from? Chapter 2472 Taiku Dragon Snake. Dragon Snake Stone Open Black Lens Bracket Full Order Close Black Lens Bracket. Hazy Tianzu didn't know whether Yi Tian's words were true, but he also did not intend to snatch Yi Tian's ancient golden leaf. Infinite Heavenly Ancestor, if you want to exchange the ancient golden leaf, I can call the shots. However, I can only exchange with you for a period of time. If you can't practice it, you have to exchange it back. Haze Tianzu rode. Thank you, Yi Tian thanked. He didn't expect it to be so easy, so he exchanged for the second ancient technique. Of course, this also has something to do with him being an immemorial genius. If he is just a world-breaking genius and dares to make a deal with Hazy Tianzu will probably slap him to death. After a period of time, Yi Tian and Hazy Tianzu both brought the ancient golden leaf. After the two sides confirmed that they were correct, they exchanged the ancient gold leaf. After 10 primordial era, I will exchange the primordial golden leaf with you. Hazy Tianzu asked. It is good, Yi Tian agreed. Afterwards, Hazy Tianzu left. In Universal City, Yi Tian began to silently comprehend the ancient art on this ancient golden leaf, the ancient blood spear, which is also the ancient art possessed by Hazy Tianzu. 310. The power of the primordial blood spear is similar to that of the primordial demon fist, but it is the second primordial art to comprehend, so it will be very difficult. Likewise, cultivating the primordial blood spear needs to consume primordial golden blood, and his current amount of primordial golden blood is not large. However, in the Universe Time and Space Network, there is a blood-changing realm Tianzu who occasionally sells a little immemorial golden blood, and he buys it at the first time. But this amount of ancient gold blood is too rare, almost a drop in the bucket. Therefore, while cultivating the ancient blood spear, he had to collect some ancient golden blood. The Bai Yingxiang family robbed a lot of ancient golden blood at the beginning, but they will definitely not take it out again. The same is true for the ancient demon ape clan. It is unrealistic to trade the ancient golden blood from these two races. 1 inch. But Yi Tian dared to practice the second ancient technique, and naturally there was a way to obtain a large amount of ancient golden blood. In the seam of the territorial sea, there are still a small number of ancient races. These ancient races are very powerful, but the number of clansmen is sparse. Among them, in the territory near the Wanyu Tower, there is an ancient race, and it also has a certain amount of ancient gold blood reserves. This Taiku CJFJ race is the Taiku Dragon and Snake family. The Taiku Dragon Snake clan is not strong among the Taiku races, but they do not participate in any battles, and they occupied a very special Taiku treasure Dragon Snake Sea, which was preserved in the Taiku battle. Although they were considered heavy in order to save the Taiku Dragon and Snake clan at the beginning, they survived anyway. At present, the Taiku Dragon and Snake clan rarely goes out of the Dragon and Snake Sea, and they do not offend other forces. In addition, they have 9 blood-changing creatures themselves, so no force will provoke them. The reason why Yi Tian wanted to trade with the Taiku Dragon and Snake was because the Taiku Dragon and Snake had done such a transaction with practitioners. However, the Taiku Dragon Snake only accepts specific resources as transactions, and general resources are not viewed favorably. The resource that the Taiku Dragon and Snake clan needs is Dragon Serpent Stone, which helps the Taiku Dragon clan grow and is very important to them. However, the Dragon Snake Stone was mainly born in the territory of the Sea Dragon family, the treasure land of the White Sea. In the primordial era when the territorial sea was seamed, the Baihai treasure land once belonged to the primordial dragon snake, but they lost this treasure land. Later, this treasure land was occupied by the Sea Dragon clan. The Sea Dragon family is not a primordial race, but a race with primordial blood, but there are too many ethnic groups in this group, plus there are powerhouses who have 9 blood changes. If the Taiku Dragon and Snake clan wanted to occupy the White Sea treasure land, they would not be able to do so. In addition, the Taiku Dragon and Snake clan had conflicts with the Sea Dragon clan, so the Taiku Dragon and Snake clan did not dare to enter the White Sea treasure land. Moreover, in this era, the primordial race is also afraid of being caught by other forces and reduced to the fate of the primordial monitor lizard. Therefore, the primordial Sea Dragon clan will not come out, and will only exchange resources such as primordial golden blood for dragon serpent stone. I will enter the White Sea treasure land, look for more dragon snake stones, and then exchange the dragon snake stones and the ancient dragon snake for the ancient golden blood. Yi Tian planned. White Sea treasure. Yi Tian came to this neighborhood. This is the territory of the Sea Dragon clan, so there are not many sea dragons here, and you can often see them. He hid his figure and sneaked in here, and soon found a sea dragon with 3 blood changes. Without further ado, after instantly killing the other party, he copied the body of this sea dragon. Afterwards, he copied the body of the sea dragon and entered the White Sea treasure land to find or trade the dragon snake stone. In fact, the effect of the dragon snake stone on the Sea Dragon family is far less than that of the ancient dragon snake, so they are not very important to the dragon snake stone. However, the Sea Dragon clan would not trade the dragon serpent stone, for fear of falling into the hands of the primordial dragon and snake, enhancing the strength of the primordial dragon and snake. Since the Sea Dragon family is not important to the dragon snake stone, Yi Tian's copy of the Sea Dragon can easily get some dragon snake stone. The Heilong clan did not expect that there was an outsider in their clan, so they did not care about this matter at all. As time passed, more and more dragon snake stones fell into Yi Tian's hands. XX. Twice. 3 times. Yi Tian transported dragon snake stones from Baihai treasure land again and again, which greatly reduced the number of dragon snake stones in Baihai treasure land. At this time, the gap between the Sea Dragon clan is obviously out, and the investigation is still carried out. It is estimated that it is about to be exposed. Just annihilate this duplicate body. Hai Long Fu was annihilated, no matter how he checked it out. After that, he went to the Dragon Snake Sea where the Taiku Dragon Snake clan was located. The Dragon Snake Sea is the birthplace of the Taiku Dragon Snake. This place will suppress the strength of external creatures, especially in the depths of the Dragon Snake Sea, which is extremely terrifying. Because of this, even the 9 blood-changing creatures would not dare to fight with the 9 blood-changing creatures of the Taiku Dragon Snake in the depths of the Dragon Snake Sea. When Yi Tian came to the Dragon and Snake Sea, several Taiku dragons and snakes stopped Yi Tian. Cultivator, stop. A Taiku dragon snake who had undergone 6 blood changes stopped Yi Tian, said. My name is Endless Heavenly Ancestor, I am here to trade with the Taiku Dragon Snake clan. I have a lot of dragon snake stones in my hands. Yi Tian said. A lot of dragon snake stones. These primordial dragons and snakes were startled, but they did not immediately believe Yi Tian's words but went to report. In the Dragon Snake Mountain in the depths of the Dragon Snake Sea, 3 Taiku dragon snakes who have undergone 9 blood changes are practicing here. Suddenly, a clan member came to report. Chapter 2473 The Ancient Blood Spear, Practice It. 3 ancestors, a cultivator named Endless Heavenly Ancestor came to our Dragon Snake Sea. He said that he had a lot of dragon snake stones and wanted to trade with us. A Taiku dragon and snake report. Endless Heavenly Ancestor, isn't this the immemorial genius who made a lot of noise in the immemorial god realm recently? The immemorial dragon snake god doing the 9 blood transformations said lightly. Although the Taiku dragon snake doesn't go out very much, they still have their own channels for information from the outside world. Therefore, Shendu still knows the news of the immemorial genius of the Endless Heavenly Ancestor. Since he is an ancient genius, let's meet. Besides, he also said that he has a dragon and snake stone. If it is true, he can also trade it. Ji Yuzun, another 9-time blood change creature, said. Afterwards, they asked the Taiku dragon and snake guard to bring Yi Tian. Endless Heavenly Ancestor, the 3 ancestors of our primordial dragon snake want to meet you. Several ancient dragon snake guards took Yi Tian into the depths of the Dragon Snake Sea, and soon came to the Dragon Snake Mountain where the 3 ancient dragon snake ancestors were located. After Yi Tian came here, he saw 3 incomparably huge taiku dragons and snakes, which were still their shrunken bodies, otherwise their bodies would be extremely terrifying. I have seen 3 seniors, Shendu, Ji Yuzun, and Tai Crocodile. Yi Tian said very politely. Seeing Yi Tian, Shendu asked, Endless Heavenly Ancestor, you are an immemorial genius, and we have already heard about it. What are you doing in our immemorial dragon and snake clan? Trade. Yi Tian waved his hand, and a pile of dragon snake stones appeared. I have a lot of dragon snake stones in my hand, and I want to trade the ancient golden blood stored by the ancient dragon snake clan. Dragon snake stone. Shendu and the others checked carefully, and it was indeed the real dragon and snake stone. Although it was unclear how Yi Tian obtained so many dragon and snake stones, such a transaction would only benefit them, not harm. Okay, Shendu agreed, if you are talking about these dragon snake stones, you can only trade more than 10,000 drops of ancient golden blood. No, I have more dragon and snake stones, I'm just showing you all here. Yi Tian said with a smile. More dragon serpent stones. Shendu and the others are excited. If there are more dragon snake stones, they can cultivate more powerful taiku dragon snakes. Endless Heavenly Ancestor, how much immemorial golden blood do you want? We all have it. Shendu said. Afterwards, Yi Tian officially traded with the taiku dragon and snake clan. He took out the amount of dragon and serpent stone that made the taiku dragon and snake clan stunned, and also traded a huge amount of taiku golden blood from the taiku dragon and snake. Close to 1,000,000 drops of ancient golden blood. Yi Tian left with these ancient golden blood. The ancient dragon and snake clan must have more ancient golden blood, and they even mastered the method of cultivating the ancient golden blood. The primordial demon ape clan can cultivate so much primordial golden blood, and the primordial dragon snake clan can naturally. Therefore, no one knows how much ancient golden blood the taiku dragon snake clan has. But Yi Tian doesn't need to trade too much, 1,000,000 drops of ancient gold blood is enough for him. Universal City. After Yi Tian brought back the ancient golden blood, he began to fully cultivate the ancient art of the ancient blood spear. It is indeed difficult to cultivate the second ancient technique, and one failure in cultivation makes Yi Tian continue to fail. However, he can duplicate the body again and again, so he doesn't care about these losses. Time flies, the ancient golden blood is constantly being consumed by Yi Tian, and his perception of the ancient art is getting deeper and deeper. After 10,000 drops of ancient gold blood was used up, he still did not understand the ancient blood spear, so he continued to practice. 100,000 drops of ancient golden blood consumed. 200,000 drops of ancient golden blood consumed. 300,000 drops of ancient golden blood consumed. With the consumption of a large amount of ancient gold blood, Yi Tian also has a lot of insights, and his understanding of the ancient blood spear has reached a very high level, and he is about to practice the ancient blood spear. Long years have passed. This day, Yi Tian consumed 760,000 drops of ancient golden blood, and he was finally about to comprehend the ancient blood spear. An ancient blood spear slowly condensed from Yi Tian's hand, exuding the power of ancient art. Boom! Yi Tian's body began to transform and was stronger than before, but it had not yet reached a very exaggerated level. And the heart that was about to be tempered to 4 times of blood transformation would need a longer tempering time. But Yi Tian didn't care about this, he was only excited because his strength had skyrocketed. With his current strength, if he fights with Hazy Tianzu again in the primordial god realm, he can kill Hazy Tianzu in a short period of time. This is the horror of mastering 2 ancient techniques. For flowers, if Hazy Tianzu knew that I had become an ancient blood spear, he would probably be embarrassed. Yi Tian thought to himself. He didn't expose this matter immediately, after all, it's too fast to say it now. The time given to him by Hazy Tianzu is 10 archaic epochs, and the archaic epoch of the territorial sea boundary seam is also very long, and he has not even crossed a mere ancient epoch. Therefore, he is not in a hurry to change Golden Leaf. The next step is to raise the cultivation base to 5 blood changes. In that case, my battle can definitely be invincible among the 7 blood changes, and only 8 blood changes can kill me. Yi Tian thought to himself. Therefore, he continued to acquire more treasure resources that would help temper his heart, and he didn't care about the consumption of ancient gold at all. 0. Whenever there is such a resource for sale in Blood Change Realm, he will buy it immediately. Moreover, he has also been collecting Taiyuan gold water in Taiyuan Mountain, so the heart tempering speed is still acceptable. Time flies, Yi Tian has been refining his heart, spending an unknown amount of resources. 100 million years of the first year. The first year of a billion world. In the blink of an eye, more than 8 billion years have passed. According to the time division of the territorial sea boundary, one primordial era is equivalent to 100 billion years of the first year of the world. And Yi Tian only spent 8 billion years in the first year of the world, and once again tempered his heart to the extreme of the 4 blood changes, and he was only one step away from the 5 blood changes. Of course, at this level, he fell into a bottleneck again. Somewhere in the territorial sea, Yi Tian practiced 2 ancient techniques here. He tried to pry the bottleneck with 2 ancient techniques, tearing the shackles of 4 blood changes and 5 blood changes. Boom! Yi Tian came to hold the ancient blood spear with the ancient god and demon fist, and practiced in the void of the territorial sea. Tear! The impact flow was turbulent under Yi Tian's blow, affecting countless void areas around. He carefully understood and used this power to induce the existence of the bottleneck. He didn't know how many times he used the ancient technique to hook up the bottleneck. Finally, break me, click, the bottleneck was abruptly broken, and the heart ushered in a transformation. Corpse. Chapter 2474 The Second World-Breaking Genius of the Human Race. Open black lens bracket full order close black lens bracket. Endless energy poured into Yi Tian's heart, and a large amount of ancient golden water was also refined into his heart, helping his heart to complete its transformation. Years go by, a long time has passed. Yi Tian's heart finally completed the transformation, prompting the 5th blood transformation to begin. When boundless blood was undergoing the 5th blood change, he was also rapidly refining Yi Tian's body, making his body stronger and stronger. Every moment, his strength is skyrocketing. Finally, the 5th blood change of infinite blood is complete. At this moment, Yi Tian had already become a heavenly ancestor of the 5 blood transformation realm. Moreover, he has mastered 2 ancient techniques, and his strength is truly invincible in the 7 blood changes, and even his strength is very close to the 8 blood changes. This is the horror of the ancient genius. With my current 310 strength, the Vajra snake family that made me feel terrifying at the beginning is nothing now. Yi Tian murmured. If he attacked the Vajra snake family, the entire Vajra snake clan would not be enough to fight. Of course, he is still far from the level of Hazy Tianzu. Unless his cultivation base can step into the 6 blood changes, he can hang Hazy Tianzu. However, it was so difficult to upgrade from 4 blood changes to 5 blood changes, and it would be even more difficult to break through to 6 blood changes. Universal City. Yi Tian continued to use the ancient gold water to temper the heart, but the effect was almost useless. This is not because the ancient golden water is useless for the 5 blood changes, but because his body is too strong and his heart is too strong, so the ancient golden water is useless. He needs better resources to quickly temper the heart, or rely on a lot of years to slowly temper the heart, but in that case, it will be very difficult to break through to the 6 blood changes. Hazy Tianzu has been famous for countless years, and he has only had 6 blood changes so far. It is estimated that the problem is similar to me. I can't find the resources to help him hit the 7 blood changes. Yi Tian thought to himself. If Hazy Tianzu can break through to the 7 blood transformation realm Tianzu, it will be enough to match the top 9 blood transformation realm Tianzu, and his status is far beyond the present, and he can almost walk across the seam of the territorial sea. You can only slowly find suitable resources, it's up to luck. Yi Tian muttered. In the following years, he continued to practice hard work, and at the same time, he also transferred some resources to the human race in Wanlong's territorial waters to help the human race improve their bloodlines and enhance their heritage. There are too many foundational treasures like golden muscle liquid, and some are even better, so Yi Tian took some back. Under the cultivation of Yi Tian, the foundation of the human race is getting stronger and stronger, although it is not as good as the blood transformation race, but the population of the human race is large, this is the advantage. With such a large population, some evildoers can always be born, no less than the ordinary people of the blood transformation realm race. This day, the human race is about to give birth to the 2nd blood transformation realm heavenly ancestor, who is also a world-breaking genius. Silent Black Sea. Yi Xingchen is attacking the blood transformation realm, and with the resources given by his father Yi Tian, it is not difficult for him to attack the blood transformation realm. After absorbing a lot of golden muscle fluid, he started the 1st blood change. And Yi Tian was also secretly observing his son's breakthrough, and seeing that his breakthrough was very smooth, he was relieved. After a long time, Yi Xingchen finally succeeded in breaking through. Boom! The aura of a bloody transition erupted from him, and at this moment his strength was already comparable to the top 2nd blood transitional ancestor. This is a world-breaking genius. After Yi Xingchen broke through, Yi Tian appeared. Father, Yi Xingchen said excitedly. Yes, you have broken through to a blood change, but your current strength is still too weak. If you put it in the seam of the territorial sea, any blood change creature can hang you. When you become the third blood change, I will take you into the territorial sea. As for now, you are still practicing in the Wanlong territorial sea. Yi Tian arranged. Yes. Yi Xingchen nodded. In addition to Yi Xingchen, the newly promoted heavenly ancestor of the blood transformation realm, there are also a large number of ordinary heavenly ancestors of the melting body realm and 3 great ancestors of the 5th stage breaching realm. It can be said that the human race's current strength can already dominate the entire Wanlong territorial waters, and any force must look up to the human race. And all this is due to Yi Tian. Perhaps Yi Tian entered the Wanlong territorial sea and gained a great opportunity, and let the race take off. Many ancestors dreamed of entering the territorial sea and breaking through the sea, thus gaining the opportunity. However, some weaker ancestors entered Wanlong's territorial waters and soon perished. However, there are also heavenly ancestors who really got the chance and their strength skyrocketed. In a small fragment somewhere in Wanlong's territorial waters, Long Yetianzu is practicing here. He found a special resource here. After refining, the bottleneck is relaxed, and there are signs of breaking through the 3 blood changes. After a long time, the bottleneck completely broke through. Boom! The cultivation base of Long Yetianzu officially entered the 3-time blood change realm. At this moment, he was completely excited. It's been too long, I finally broke through to the 3 blood changes. Long Yetianzu felt that this time he came out of Wanlong's territorial waters was the most correct one. In the past, he was a powerful blood in Wanlong's territorial waters. Tianzu, after all, was stronger than him in Wanlong's territorial waters. But as Yi Tian appeared and gradually surpassed him, his status was no longer there. Today, a large number of ancestors have emerged from the human race, and his status is getting lower and lower, and no one still takes him seriously. In desperation, he broke into the seam of the territorial sea, and with good luck, he found this place, obtained resources, and hit the 3 bloody changes. I am currently in the 3rd blood transition state, and maybe in the future I have the hope of becoming the 4th blood transition state, the 5 blood transition state, and the hope of surpassing the endless ancestors. What about a world-breaking genius? As long as the cultivation base is high enough, I can surpass it. He still doesn't know that Yi 5.9 days has become an ancient genius, and he has also been upgraded to 5 blood changes, and his combat power is invincible in 7 blood changes. If he knew, he wouldn't dare to say such big words. He did not return to Wanlong's territorial waters, but continued to move forward. He also wants to get more opportunities, so he doesn't want to go back until he becomes a real powerhouse. Time flies, Long Yetianzu is constantly roaming in the sea of territorial seas, and there is no clear direction, but he has been attacked by blood-changing creatures several times, but his luck is not bad, and those who attacked him are not more than 4 blood-changing realms. Creatures, the most powerful ones are only 3 blood-shift creatures. Thus, he escaped several times. This day, Long Yetianzu suddenly encountered a shock current vortex that was difficult to appear for countless years in the shock current, and he was involved in an instant. Chapter 2475 The Encounter of Long Yetianzu Open black lens bracket Seeking full order Close black lens bracket. Where is this? 1. Long Yetianzu has absolutely no idea where he is. The impact vortex has a teleportation effect, so he may now be infinitely far away from Wanlong's territorial waters, and may even never be able to go back. Thinking of this, Long Yetianzu was in a very bad mood. Soon, he found that he was in an unknown place, as if it was the center of the vortex of shock current. He wanted to get rid of it, but his strength was not enough. No, unless my strength can break through again, maybe I can hope to leave this unknown place. Unable to leave, Long Yetianzu began to explore here. Soon, he discovered other blood-changing creatures, and their strength was even more terrifying than him. A lot of blood-change creatures. Long Yetianzu shivered. Fortunately, the creatures in the blood change did not attack him here. It is estimated that he has been trapped here for countless years, and there is no way to leave, so he wants to have another blood change to accompany 29. A cultivator has come. One after another, the 4 blood changes and the 5 blood changes were staring at the dragon-toothed Tianzu. Hello everyone, Long Yetianzu said hello. If it is outside, a practitioner of the 3rd blood change like you, I will eat it in one bite. A 5-time blood change creature said coldly. Yes. Long Yetianzu did not dare to refute. Afterwards, he chatted with these blood-changing creatures, and only then did he know that they had been trapped here for countless years. When a blood-changing creature came in, it was only one blood-changing state, and now it has turned into 5 blood-changing states. But even if he has become the blood-change state 5 times, he still can't get rid of it. 5 blood changes did not leave. Long Tianzu was stunned. Doesn't it mean that he will never get out? Didn't you ask for help? Long Tianzu asked. A 5-time blood-changing creature said, we don't know powerful blood-changing creatures, who should we ask for help? Moreover, this is the place of the death vortex, unless the 7 blood-changing creatures come in to save us, they will all come out. Don't go. What kind of existence are the 7 blood changes creatures, how can they come here to save us? 1. Long Tianzu is right when he thinks about it, how rare is the 7 blood change creatures, how can he come to rescue him? Let's go, I'll take you to see the good stuff. These blood-changing creatures came to the center of this death vortex with the dragon Fang Tianzu. Here, Long Tianzu saw a piece of wood and a golden leaf. What is this? Long Tianzu asked. I don't know. A blood-changing creature pointed at the golden leaf and said, this is recorded on the ancient technique, but what is the ancient technique, we do not know, anyway, it can't be practiced. As for this piece of wood, it should be fragments of a certain tree. Every few years will flow out a drop of golden substance, this golden substance can enhance our strength. If it weren't for it, our cultivation would not be able to improve so fast. When the golden substance flows out next time, I will give you a little bit to increase your strength. We can't rely on the powerhouses from the outside world, we can only cultivate a 7-time blood change realm here, so that we can hope to go out. This piece of wood can flow out a golden substance, why don't you break it open? Long Tianzu asked. Nonsense, if it can be broken, will you remind me? The 5-time blood change creature sneered. Long Ya understands that even 5 blood changes creatures can't shake this piece of wood, its texture is too strong, I am afraid that it will take 6 blood changes or even 7 blood changes to hope to break it open. Afterwards, he went to comprehend the ancient technique, and the comprehension did not end for a long time. Moreover, once the practice of this ancient technique fails once, the physical body will be damaged. Moreover, he did not copy the ancient golden blood of cultivation. Useless. No, it can't go on like this. These blood-changing creatures don't know how long they have been cultivating here, and they still can't break through to the 7 blood-changing stages. They probably know that they have no hope of breaking through, so they pin their hopes on other bloods. On change. Long Ya doesn't want to pin his hopes on other blood-changing creatures, he must find a way to get out. Perhaps I can contact the Endless Heavenly Ancestor. The Endless Heavenly Ancestor must have gotten along very well in the Territorial Sea. Maybe he knows the 7 blood-changing creatures. This piece of wood and that ancient technique may be able to impress the 7 blood-changing creatures. So get us out. Long Ya Tianzu thought so. So, he tried his best to practice Endless Heavenly Ancestor. But he didn't know the location of the Endless Heavenly Ancestor, nor did he know whether the Endless Heavenly Ancestor could receive the message, so he could only keep sending it out. In addition, the fluctuation of the information is very weak, and the possibility of the Endless Heavenly Ancestor receiving the information is not too high. But for countless years, if you keep trying, there may be hope. Years go by. A long time has passed. Long Ya Tianzu sent messages again and again, but every time he could not get a response, it was just too far away. This day, a copy of Yi Tian's body is ready to return to Wanlong's territorial waters to bring back some resources. On the way back, he suddenly sensed a message from Long Ya Tianzu. Long Ya Tianzu. Yi Tian sensed it carefully, the message was intermittent, and it seemed to come from an unknown place. 310 And in this incomplete information, he seems to have sensed the name of the ancient art. Immediately, he became curious. So, keep getting closer. Finally, after advancing a long distance, the message was finally clear. Endless Heavenly Ancestor, I am trapped in the death vortex. There is a leaf here, with ancient techniques on it, and a piece of wood that can't be destroyed by 5 blood changes. The wood can also flow out golden substances, which can improve the cultivation level of the blood transformation realm. Please also find a 7th blood transformation realm to come over and help me get out of trouble, these things are the reward. Hearing this news, Yi Tian was pleasantly surprised. The ancient golden leaf, can Long Ya Tianzu still find this thing? He did not believe that the Dragon-Tooth Heavenly Ancestor would lie to him, because with the strength of the Dragon-Tooth Heavenly Ancestor, he did not even have the qualification to lift the name of Taiku Jinye. Therefore, it can only be true. Long Ye Tianzu, give me your specific location. Yi Tian said, the land of the death vortex. Long Ye Tianzu received a message from Endless Tianzu, and there seemed to be drama in his words, and he was immediately excited. Of course, he didn't tell the other blood-changing creatures, but immediately sent Yi Tian the location of this place with his own coordinates. Chapter 2476 Two treasures delivered to the door. Open black lens bracket seeking full order close black lens bracket. After Yi Tian received the coordinates of Long Ye Tianzu, he rushed over immediately. Soon, he came to the place of the death vortex. Of course, from the outside, you can't see the big vortex, only the impact flow is somewhere wrong. It's here, Yi Tian guessed. Long Ye Tianzu should have encountered the impact vortex in another area and was teleported here. 1. He also has a little understanding of the land of death vortex. This kind of death vortex land will move. It moves continuously with the impact current. Without the cultivation of the 7 blood changes, once it falls into it, it will not be able to get out at all. And if you want to smash the land of the death vortex, you must have at least the strength of 9 blood changes. Go first. Yi Tian tore a hole and escaped directly into the death vortex. Another cultivator has come. One after another, the blood-changing creatures stared at Yi Tian who came in. Endless Heavenly Ancestor, why did you come in? Long Ye Heavenly Ancestor was stunned. Didn't he ask Yi Tian to seek help from a 7-time blood-changing realm powerhouse? What is the matter with Endless Heavenly Ancestor coming in? Long Ye Tianzu, I will take you out. Where are the things? Yi Tian asked. There. Long Ye Tianzu pointed in the direction. Yi Tian directly escaped, and the other blood-changing creatures were full of doubts, but they also followed. Soon, Yi Tian came to Taiku Golden Leaf. Sure enough, it is the ancient golden leaf. Yi Tian was very excited. This is an unowned primordial golden leaf. With this primordial golden leaf, he can practice another primordial technique. His immeasurable will is integrated into the ancient golden leaf, comprehending the ancient art above. Taigu move. This is an immemorial technique of movement. Once practiced, it will help a lot in combat, because he is lacking such an immemorial technique of movement. This is mine. Yi Tian reached out and grabbed the primordial leaf. This leaf can't be moved. Set a 5 times blood change creature. All the blood change creatures here have been tested, and they are unable to move this leaf. And Yi Tian naturally knows the reason. If you want to move the ancient golden leaf, you need at least 6 blood changes, and the highest here is only 5 blood changes, so it is strange to be able to move the ancient golden leaf. When taking away the ancient golden leaf, Yi Tian used the power of the ancient technique to seal it so that its aura would not be exposed. Click. The Taiku golden leaf was moved by Yi Tian and then put away. Seeing this scene, these blood-changing creatures were immediately shocked. How did he do it? These bloody creatures were stunned. At this time, Yi Tian looked at the piece of wood again. Hey, this piece of wood has the breath of the ancient golden leaf, it should belong to the same category as the ancient golden leaf, could it be? Yi Tian thought of a possibility, that is the ancient golden tree. In the primordial era of the territorial sea boundary seam, a primordial golden tree was born, and the primordial golden leaf grew on the primordial golden tree. At the beginning of the battle of the ancient races, it was to snatch the ancient golden leaf, which caused the ancient golden tree to be broken into pieces, and this piece of wood should be a fragment of the ancient golden tree, and it is still a relatively core fragment. Because according to what Long Ye Tianzu said, this piece of wood will reveal a kind of golden substance, which can improve the cultivation. This golden substance should be the ancient golden juice in the body of the ancient golden tree. This section of wood is very large, and there must be a lot of ancient gold juice inside. So, he took away the piece of wood. Hey, this piece of wood is our hope to improve our strength. What do you do when you put it away? Once you put it away, it won't flow out of the golden substance. The 5 blood-changing creatures stopped. Roll. Yi Tian snorted coldly and sent the opponent flying. In the next moment, Yi Tian exuded an ancient aura, directly immobilizing this group of blood-changing creatures. This breath, these blood changes immediately flattered. Powerful cultivator, you should be sure to leave, please take us away. 1. Why? Yi Tian was too lazy to pay attention to them. Long Ye Tianzu, I promised to take you out, will you leave? Yi Tian looked at Long Ye Tianzu. Go, Long Ye Tianzu said quickly. Okay, let's go out then. Yi Tian grabbed the dragon-tooth heavenly ancestor, tore the death vortex directly, and rushed out from here. Long Ye Tianzu sensed the familiar shock current and knew that he had come out of the death vortex. Thank you for the endless heavenly ancestor. Long Ye Tianzu thanked. Everyone takes what they need. Yi Tian left immediately and left the Dragon Tooth Heavenly Ancestor here. He has no obligation to send the Dragon Tooth Heavenly Ancestor back. Seeing Yi Tian leaving, Longye Tianzu didn't think it had anything to do with it. At this moment, he only marveled at Yi Tian's strength. Yi Tian's cultivation level is clearly only 5 blood changes, but his combat power has definitely reached 7 blood changes, otherwise he will not be able to save him. Boundary-breaking genius, there is no way to have the combat power of 7 blood-changing realms with 5 blood changes. I am afraid that the endless ancestors have already surpassed the breaking level genius. Longye Tianzu felt how ridiculous the thought that he wanted to compare with Yi Tian before. Forget it, let's go back to Wanlong's territorial waters, the seam of the territorial sea is too dangerous. Longye Tianzu said with emotion. Universal City. Yi Tian came back and was in a very good mood. This time, Longye Tianzu is really his lucky star, and he sent him 2 treasures at once. Originally, this was an opportunity that belonged to Longye Tianzu, but unfortunately he was not strong enough. Yi Tian took out the ancient golden wood and squeezed it hard, and the ancient golden wood did not move at all. It's really solid. Immediately, he condensed the ancient technique of the ancient blood spear, and attacked this ancient golden wood hard. Click, the piece of wood split open. Good bang bang bang. Under repeated attacks, this piece of wood was completely cracked, revealing a void hidden inside the wood, and this void contained a large amount of ancient gold juice. At least tens of millions of drops of swire gold juice. Yi Tian was excited. The value and function of the ancient gold juice is above the ancient gold water, and it is also very useful to the practitioner. So much ancient gold juice can definitely improve his cultivation to 6 blood changes. Once his cultivation base has broken through to the 6 blood changes, his strength can surpass that of Hazy Tianzu. There is also this ancient technique of immemorial movement. You still have to collect and trade some immemorial golden blood, and practice it. Yi Tian murmured. In the following years, Yi Tian mainly used the ancient gold juice to practice. Although the help of the ancient gold juice is not particularly great for him, but at least it is useful, so his heart is constantly strengthened with the help of the ancient gold juice, getting stronger and stronger. Chapter 2477 Taiku Move and Practice. Open black lens bracket seeking full order close black lens bracket. Years go by. Relying on a large amount of ancient gold juice, Yi Tian's heart gradually reached the limit of 5 blood changes. Finally, on this day, Yi Tian's heart could no longer be tempered, it had reached its limit, and the next step was to transform the heart, thus prompting the blood to undergo the 6th transformation. Call. Yi Tian was very excited, he didn't expect to temper his heart to the limit of 5 blood transformations so quickly, he thought that he would need endless years to temper his heart to the extreme. I have to say that Longye Tianzu is really his lucky star, and let him pick up such a big opportunity in vain. However, for an immemorial genius like Yi Tian, 5 times of blood transition to hit 6 times of blood transition is not a small difficulty, and he does not dare to say when he will be able to break through. Perhaps you can use the ancient technique of moving your body from the ancient times to shock the 6 blood changes. Yi Tian decided. Although practicing more ancient techniques will make it more difficult to break through in the future, but he is currently at the pinnacle of the 5 blood changes. Using the ancient techniques to stimulate the heart may break the shackles. Of course, he doesn't have enough ancient gold blood in his hands now, so he has to trade some ancient gold blood from the ancient dragon and snake clan. We have to continue to purchase from the HAILONG 310 family. In the same way, he went to the White Sea Treasure Land where the Sea Dragon clan was located to collect dragon snake stones. Of course, even if he copied the body of a member of a certain Sea Dragon clan, he would not dare to collect them in large quantities. In this way, the risk of exposure is not large, it just takes a few more years. In the following years, Yi Tian used this method to collect dragon snake stones. After collecting a lot of dragon snake stones, he would trade the ancient golden blood with the ancient dragon snake clan. With the ancient golden blood, Yi Tian began to practice the ancient moving body. Cultivating the 3rd immemorial technique is naturally more difficult than the 2nd immemorial technique. Failed again and again, a lot of ancient gold blood was consumed. And Yi Tian's comprehension of the ancient technique of moving his body from the ancient times is getting deeper and deeper. As long as he is given time, he can definitely practice it. Hazy Tianzu, ask me to learn from each other again. Yi Tian immediately entered the immemorial god realm. This time, Hazy Tianzu and Yi Tian competed, and Yi Tian was completely dominant. Even if he didn't use the ancient blood spear, he hid his strength, but he was too familiar with the ancient technique of Hai's Tianzu, the ancient blood spear, so he could easily seize the opportunity to defeat Hai's Tianzu. Boom! After Yi Tian seized the opportunity, he completely gave no room for Hazy Tianzu to reverse, and under constant attack, completely defeated Hazy Tianzu. This time, Hazy Tianzu was beaten to the point of doubting his life. Endless heavenly ancestor, how did your strength become stronger? Hazy Tianzu was stunned. Yi Tian explained. I am comprehending the ancient art of the ancient blood spear, so I know your ancient blood spear very well, so I can easily seize the opportunity to defeat you. Yes. Hazy Tianzu has some doubts. After all, if you can't practice the ancient blood spear, you don't understand it. He also comprehended the primordial divine demon fist. Why didn't he gain anything? Looking back, I will also comprehend the primordial divine demon fist. Even if I don't practice it, it's better to comprehend a little more. With this idea, Hazy Tianzu left the primordial god realm. It's a fool to live with the ancestor of Hazy. Yi Tian murmured. When I break through to the ancestor of the 6 blood changes, I will exchange the ancient golden leaf with the ancestor of Hazy. Later, he also left the primordial god realm. Sea Dragon Clan. At this time, the head of the Sea Dragon Clan, Shui Yu, already knew that a lot of dragon snake stones in the clan had disappeared. Before the number was small, it didn't matter, but now the number is a little more. Which clan did it this time? Snow Feather asked. It's Topa, the following Halongwei reports. But when we were about to interrogate Topa CJFJ, he committed suicide, similar to the previous clansmen, who did not hesitate to annihilate themselves. 1. They can't commit suicide casually. There is only one possibility, that is, an unknown enemy has set his sights on our Sea Dragon clan and manipulated them. Shui Yu was very annoyed, and his first suspicion was that the target was the Taiku Dragon and Snake clan. Because only the primordial Dragon Serpent clan needs a lot of Dragon Serpent Stone, other blood transformation races have little or no need for Dragon Serpent Stone. However, he did not dare to kill Long Snake Sea, otherwise he would be courting death. Hand in all the Dragon and Snake Stones. No clan members are allowed to collect Dragon and Snake Stones without permission. Shui Yu gave this order. Only in this way can this situation be prevented. Although this order will make many clansmen dissatisfied, it is better than this situation one after another. Soon, Shui Yu confiscated all the Dragon Snake Stones of the Sea Dragon clan, and put them all in the treasury of the Sea Dragon clan, and did not allow other clansmen to approach the treasury. And this also cut off Yi Tian's plan to continue collecting Dragon Snake Stones. The reaction of the Sea Dragon clan is a little quicker, and the decision is very decisive. It seems that there is no way to obtain a large amount of Dragon Snake Stone from the White Sea. Yi Tian said helplessly. However, the Dragon Snake Stone he sold to the Taiku Dragonsnake clan also exchanged a large amount of Taiku golden blood, which may be enough to successfully train Taiku's body. If there is really a lack of ancient golden blood, then think of a way. Another long time passed. Yi Tian kept refining the ancient golden blood to practice the ancient technique of moving the body of the ancient times, scrapping the replica bodies one after another, and making the number of the ancient golden blood less and less. However, his luck is really good. On this day, he finally succeeded in practicing the immemorial move before exhausting the ancient golden blood. The territorial sea boundary seam, in the impact current. When Yi Tian's body moved, he used his Taiku move, and instantly crossed a territory at a speed far exceeding the past, and arrived at White Elephant City in a very short period of time at a very terrifying speed. Afterwards, he rushed back to Wanlong Territorial Sea from White Elephant City. Such a speed, surpassing the past, I don't know how many times. Moreover, Taiku Nuoshu can also be used in battle. Even if he is also a Taiku-level genius, he can easily defeat or even kill ordinary Taiku-level geniuses of the same rank by using Taiku Nose, Taiku Blood Spear, and Taiku Divine Demon Fist. Click. The shackles of the heart seem to have cracks with the practice of Taiku's move. Then, he began to use the massive amount of ancient gold juice to promote the transformation of the heart, thus promoting the 6th blood transformation of the blood. Break me. Yi Tian dashed abruptly, tearing the bottleneck directly. The heart continues to absorb the energy of the ancient golden juice, and it is rapidly transforming. Chapter 2478 Primordial Roots Open black lens bracket seeking complete order close black lens bracket. A steady stream of energy pours into the heart, prompting rapid transformation of the heart. And with the transformation of the heart, the 6th blood change of the boundless blood will also begin. Soon, Yi Tian's body strength continued to become stronger, and his breath became more and more terrifying. The void where the impact flow was kept collapsing, as if it couldn't bear the breath of Yi Tian's breakthrough. After a long time, Yi Tian finally broke through completely. 6 blood changes, here we come. Ancient God and Demon Fist. Yi Tian punched out, the surrounding territory turned into nothingness, and even a nearby piece of ancient treasure was completely annihilated. Afterwards, he kept making shots in this area, using this method to completely control the skyrocketing flesh and blood. Gradually, his breath stabilized. My current strength has surpassed Hazy Tianzu, and I am invincible in the 8 blood changes. Yi Tian muttered. In other words, with his current strength, he can ignore the White Shadow Clan and the Primordial Demon Ape Clan. Because as far as he knows, the White Shadow Clan and the Primordial Demon Ape Clan do not seem to have the power of the 9 blood transitions. As long as they do not have the 9 blood transitions, they are not his opponents. Even if he encounters a strong man who has experienced 9 blood changes, he can escape with his ancient technique of moving his body. I have to exchange the ancient golden leaf that recorded the ancient blood spear with the ancient golden leaf of the ancient god and demon fist in the hands of Hazy Tianzu. Yi Tian immediately contacted Hazy Tianzu. Soon, they met. Endless heavenly ancestor, you seem to have given up cultivating the primordial blood spear. I said that it is too difficult to practice 2 primordial techniques, the cost is too high, and the hope is slim. 1. Hazy Tianzu said. Immediately, he took out the immemorial golden leaf that recorded the immemorial god and demon fist and exchanged it with Yi Tian. After Yi Tian exchanged the ancient golden leaves, he said, actually, I have practiced it. What? Hazy Tianzu suspects that he heard it wrong. I really practiced the ancient blood spear. Immediately, Yi Tian condensed the ancient blood spear in front of Hazy Tianzu. Seeing the ancient blood spear, Hazy Tianzu was really shocked. How did you do that? Hazy Tianzu couldn't help but ask. Talent. Yi Tian can only explain it this way, he can't say that he is using a copy of the body to keep trying, scrapping a lot of bodies, this is the success. Envy. Hazy Tianzu also wanted to practice the second ancient technique, but unfortunately he couldn't. He didn't continue to look for Yi Tian to discuss, because Yi Tian, who has practiced 2 ancient techniques, plus his cultivation base has broken through to the 6 blood changes, his strength has surpassed him. Endless heavenly ancestor, you only had 4 blood transitions at the beginning. I didn't expect you to break through to 6 blood transitions in such a short period of time, and you also practiced 2 ancient techniques. I can't compare with you. In terms of strength, I'm no longer your opponent. Hazy Tianzu said with emotion. However, he did not know that what Yi Tian practiced was not 2 ancient techniques, but 3 ancient techniques. Hazy Tianzu has praised it, maybe you will soon be able to break through to the 7 blood transmutation realm, and then you will be able to compete with the top 9 blood transition realm experts. Yi Tian said. It's difficult, it's too difficult. Hazy Tianzu shook his head, it is very difficult for a genius like us to break through to the 7 blood changes, and it costs a lot of resources. Therefore, many top overlords rank forces are also unwilling to cultivate immemorial geniuses. If they do their best, it will be no problem to cultivate a few immemorial geniuses, but the price paid may be to cultivate more than 8 blood transfiguration realm ancestors. Right, Yi Tian agrees very much. Those top hegemon level forces will not deliberately cultivate immemorial talent, unless there is a world-breaking talent who really wants to impact immemorial talent, they can obtain some resource supply, but most of them have to rely on themselves. It is precisely because of this that the ancient geniuses are so rare. Subsequently, Yi Tian separated from Hazy Tianzu. Universal City. Yi Tian entered the Wanyu Tower. It has been a long time since he has come to the Wanyu Tower, and this time he plans to break through a few more floors at one time to upgrade his authority. The 14th floor of the Universe Tower. Yi Tian encountered the opponent, beat the opponent with 1 punch, and rushed over directly. 15th floor. 16th floor. Yi Tian broke through easily. Finally, he came to the 17th floor of the Wanyu Tower. The opponent on this floor was the top 8 blood transformation realm strength. Boom. For flowers. The Wanyu Tower moved in a blood change creature who had 8 blood changes. Wanyu Tower actually moved me in. Ape Fu, the clan leader of the primordial demon ape, soon realized his situation. It was a certain heavenly ancestor who had undergone 8 blood changes and attacked the 17th floor of the Universe Tower here. Boom. Yi Tian fought with the great ape of the primordial demon ape clan. Yi Tian's shot is the ancient blood spear, attacking Yuanfu. Prime blood spear. Fu recognized it, and subconsciously thought it was the ancestor of Hazy. No, it's not Hazy Tianzu, Hazy Tianzu passed through the 17th floor of the universe tower countless years ago, how could he be breaking through now? Could it be a certain Tianzu of Hazy Tianzu's power? That's not right, the power of Hazy Tianzu is not strong, Hazy Tianzu is the strongest, other Tianzu have not heard how powerful. 0. Surufu was puzzled. Under the attack of the ancient art of the ancient blood spear, Surufu was gradually suppressed and was soon injured. It is difficult for Surufu to recover from being injured by the ancient technique. As time passed, Surufu couldn't bear it any longer and chose to admit defeat. Swish, Yuanfu was moved out, and Yi Tian broke through the 17th floor of the Wanyu Tower. After breaking through the 17th floor of the Wanyu Tower, his authority has been greatly improved. Even the ordinary 9-time blood change realm Tianzu has no right to view his information in the Wanyu Tower. Passing through the 17th floor of the Universe Tower, the rewards of this floor far exceed other floors. This is a drop of ancient roots. Yi Tian was surprised. This is an extremely precious thing, and the Wanyu Tower is still in stock. This thing is from the ancient golden tree. The whole body of the ancient golden tree is full of treasures, and the leaves are the ancient golden leaves, which gave birth to a door of ancient techniques, and the trunk part gave birth to the ancient golden juice, and the root system gave birth to the ancient root marrow. Primordial root marrow is helpful to the 8 blood transformation realm impacting the 9 blood transformation realm, and naturally it also helps Yi Tian. It's a pity that only a drop of primordial root marrow can't help him hit the 7 blood changes. What is the origin of the Wanyu Tower? There are all these things. If there is a master, how terrifying his master must be, he must surpass the 9 blood changes. Yi Tian guessed the corpse. Chapter 2479 Mia Sea of Bitterness, Void Mother Liquid. Open black lens bracket full order close black lens bracket. Coming out of the Wanyu Tower, Yi Tian refined this drop of ancient roots. Boom! The terrifying energy tempered Yi Tian's heart, but it didn't take too long, this drop of ancient roots was completely refined by him. The heart is obviously a little stronger, the effect of the ancient roots is really terrifying, but unfortunately there is only one drop. Yi Tian murmured. Another time has passed. Yi Tian's progress is very slow, and he can even make little progress. He can only cultivate the human race with all his strength, and let the human race give birth to as many blood changes as possible. Of course, he was also looking for opportunities in the territorial sea and boundaries, but the opportunities he found were very general and didn't help him much. This day, Hazy Tianzu came to Wanyu City to find Yi Tian. Haste Tianzu, please come in. Yi Tian welcomed Hazy Tianzu in. Infinite Heavenly Ancestor, I want to invite you into Mia's 310, Bitter Sea, are you interested? His Heavenly Ancestor asked. Mia Bitter Sea. Yi Tian frowned, he really hadn't heard of this place. Where is that? Yi Tian asked. Seeing that Yi Tian didn't know Mia's Bitter Sea, Hazy Tianzu introduced. Mia's Bitter Sea is a treasure that has transcended 9 blood changes and has been transformed after death. Normally, Mia's Bitter Sea cannot enter, otherwise it will be obliterated by a terrifying force, and even 9 blood changes may not be able to withstand it. But now, Mia's Bitter Sea has fallen into a quiet period, so we can break in and try. Is there anything good in Miyakui? Yi Tian felt that he must have the resources to attract him before he would go, otherwise it would be unnecessary. Of course there is, Hazy Tianzu said. The most precious resource in the Sea of Bitterness of Mia is the Mother Liquid of the Void, and the existence that turns into the Sea of Bitterness of Mia is called the Lord of Mia, and is a void beast, so it is born after death. The Void Mother Liquor has come out. This Void Mother Liquor helps us to temper the heart, and the effect is not bad. 1. Yi Tian and Hazy Tianzu kept chatting about Miyakui, and he knew more and more about Miyakui. Even in the calm period of Mia Bitter Sea, it is very dangerous, and the suppression of foreign creatures is very large. The higher the cultivation base, the more severe the suppression. Because, even in the calm period of the 9 times blood transformation realm Tianzu, he did not dare to break in. Many void demon insects have been bred in the Mia Bitter Sea, all of which are creatures containing the bloodline of the Void Mother Beast. They only exist in the Mia Bitter Sea, but their strength is terrifying and there are many. The only flaw is that this void demon insect has very low intelligence and only acts on instinct. But once they are besieged by the void demon insects, these ancient geniuses will be in great danger, and it is very likely that they will fall there. Therefore, Mia Bitter Sea is called one of the forbidden places in the territorial sea. Endless Heavenly Ancestor, I not only invited you, but also invited several immemorial geniuses, all of whom have undergone 6 blood changes. We can enter there together, and we can take care of him. Hazy Heavenly Ancestor said. It is good, Yi Tian agreed. Among the debris somewhere in the seam of the territorial sea. Yi Tian came here, and this is the place where the ancestors of Hazy agreed. Soon, the other 6 immemorial geniuses came, and they were all powerful people who were famous in the territorial sea. These are Wei Guang Tianzu, Xingyan Tianzu, Anshan Tianzu, Shun Tianzu, Donggao Tianzu and Baheng Tianzu. Hazy Tianzu introduced these 6 to Yi Tian one by one primordial genius. This is the endless heavenly ancestor. Hazy Tianzu introduced Yi Tian again. See you all, Yi Tian greeted with fists. Soon, he chatted with these immemorial geniuses for a while and got acquainted with each other, and then he was ready to go to the Sea of Misery in Mia. Mia Bitter Sea is very far away from Wanyu City, but everyone is an ancient genius with 6 blood changes, and the speed is no less than that of the 8th blood change, so the speed is very fast. After a period of time, they all arrived at Mia's Sea of Bitterness. This is Mia's Bitter Sea, here we are. Haze Tianzu Road. Yi Tian tried to spy on the situation inside Mia's Bitter Sea, but couldn't perceive anything. The existence beyond the 9 blood changes will actually fall. Yi Tian said with emotion. The battle of the ancient times is too tragic. Although it is for the ancient golden tree, I think it is just a flashpoint. The later battle of the ancient times must involve more secrets. I only know that in the battle of the ancient times, like Mi the Lord of Ya has surpassed the 9 blood changes and more than one has fallen. And Chen Tianzu said. They didn't discuss this topic much, and when they were ready, they broke into the bitter sea of Mia. Boom! As soon as they entered the Sea of Bitterness in Mia, a terrifying force came over, causing Yi Tian and the others to change their expressions, but they soon got used to it. Don't separate everyone, otherwise you will be easily besieged and killed. Hai's Tianzu reminded. The 8 immemorial geniuses did not stand very far, and moved little by little in the Sea of Misery in Mia. Unexpected, the void vibrated in the distance, and one by one void demon insects appeared. The breath of these void demon insects is only equivalent to 6 or 7 blood-changing creatures, but this is Mia's Sea of Bitterness. Yi Tian and their strength cannot be exerted, but the void demon insect has been increased. The void worms are here, kill them! Hai's Tianzu shouted. Boom! The battle broke out in an instant, and the 8 immemorial geniuses all performed immemorial techniques and went all out. Yi Tian dealt with it with Taiku God and Demon Fist, and did not expose Taiku's body movement. If he couldn't hold it, he would use Taiku's body movement. 8 ancient geniuses joined forces. This batch of void demons could not be stopped at all, and many were killed quickly, and the other void demons fled in instinctive fear. Come on, these void demon insects will bring in a large number of void demon insects. Fortunately, their intelligence is very low, and their sensing range is limited. If we leave here, we will most likely avoid this group of void demon insects. Said. Shish. The 8 immemorial geniuses left quickly. Then, they began to look for the Void Mother liquid. Found a 5.9 drop of Void Mother fluid. The Void Mother liquid is turquoise, with a very soft glow, making it easy to identify. Hazy Tianzu put away this drop of Void Mother liquid and distributed it after going out. Next, Yi Tian and the others searched for the Void Mother liquid while fighting against the Void Demon insect. Mia's Bitter Sea has not had Tianzu come in for a long time, so there should be a lot of Void Mother liquid here. This day, Yi Tian and the others sensed 10 9-time blood-changing creatures, and they joined forces. Here, the strength of the 9 blood transformation creatures may not be as strong as Yi Tian and the others. Therefore, these 10 9-time blood-changing creatures did not attack Yi Tian and them. Yi Tian and the others won't go to trouble, and Hazy Tianzu still knows them, so he won't really try to tear his face. Chapter 2480 Yi Tian and #039's Harvest. Time passed slowly. Yi Tian and Hazy Tianzu gradually found some Void Mother liquid, and they gained a lot. Boom! In the distance, those 9 times blood transformation realm heavenly ancestors and those void demon insects fought together. Go and avoid them, Haze Tianzu rode, but no matter how to avoid them, they will still encounter other void demon insects. Thus, combat injuries are inevitable. Another time has passed. At this time, the pressure of Mia's Bitter Sea suddenly became terrifying. We have to go, Haze Tianzu reminded. The calm period of Mia's Bitter Sea is about to pass. If you continue to stay here, you will be courting death. Void Mother liquid is indeed very important, but they can't find death for Void Mother liquid. Shish, the heavenly ancestors of Hazy quickly escaped and rushed out from Mia Kuai in a short while. Let's dispense the Void Mother liquid. Hazy Tianzu took out all the Void Mother liquid 29. 386 drops of void mother liquid. Allocated according to the 8 positions, each of the ancient level geniuses is distributed equally, and it must be distributed to the nearest drop. Every primordial level genius can get a little over 48 drops of void mother liquid. After the allocation, the immemorial genius is left. 48 drops of void mother liquid is good, but there is absolutely no way to help me break through to the 7 blood changes. I am afraid that Hazy Tianzu and the others have come many times, and they have not seen them break through. The difficulty of my breakthrough must be among them. If you want to use the void mother liquid to break through, I am afraid that you will need a huge amount of void mother liquid. Yi Tian guessed. Therefore, he will not be satisfied with this void mother liquid. Then, Yi Tian entered the bitter sea of Mia again. Of course, he didn't slowly search for the void mother liquid by himself, that would be death. Once the calm period of Mia's bitter sea has passed, he will never be able to live again if he enters the Mia's bitter sea, and will soon be killed by those void demon bugs without any resistance. This time he entered the sea of bitterness of Mia, and only copied the body of a 6-time blood-changing virtual worm. As a worm of the void, he searched for the mother liquid of the void in the sea of bitterness of Mia, and then the real body copied the body and sent it out. This method, only he can do it, other immemorial geniuses and even the heavenly ancestor of the 9 blood transformation realm can't do it. Soon, a 6 times blood-changing virtual worm was copied. Then, Yi Tian's real body replica body immediately left Mia's bitter sea. The calm period of Mia's bitter sea has passed, and those heavenly ancestors have all left here, and none of the heavenly ancestors dared to stay in Mia's bitter sea. The quiet period has passed, I don't feel the slightest bit of copying the body of this void demon worm. Yi Tian thought to himself. It has to be said that the void demon insect was not affected at all in the Mia bitter sea. Even if the Mia bitter sea gusts hit the heaven and the earth, blowing all over the depths of time and space here, making the place extremely chaotic, it still cannot affect him. He wandered here as the body of the void demon worm, looking for the void mother liquid. Soon, he found a little void mother liquid, and then put it in his belly, and continued to look for other void mother liquid. 2 drops of void mother liquid. 3 drops of void mother liquid. As time passed, Yi Tian found more and more void mother liquid. And the void mother liquid is not very useful to the void demon, so there are few void demons that will collect this stuff. Time flies, Yi Tian has collected tens of thousands of void mother liquid. If there are so many void mother liquids, if Hazy Tianzu and the others see it, they will be crazy. Yi Tian thought so, he is going to transport these void mother liquid and bring it back to practice. Mia suffers overseas. Yi Tian's real copy body came here and forcibly broke into Mia's sea of bitterness. Boom, the terrifying suppression force came, so that his cloned body could hardly exert much strength here, and any void demon insect could kill him. Swish, Yi Tian's void demon insect clone came over, and handed over 10,000 drops of void mother liquid to his real clone body. Then, his real copy body escaped from the bitter sea of Mia at the fastest speed. Out, then, he returned to Universal City. In Universal City, Yi Tian took out a drop of void mother liquid, and then began to swallow and refine it. Boom, the dirtiness of the void mother liquid, although not the marrow, is also some effect. If the amount is sufficient, the heart can definitely be tempered to the extreme of the 6 blood changes. So, in the following years, he will refine the void mother liquid on his body drop by drop. As a drop of void mother liquid was refined by him, his heart became stronger and stronger. Before he knew it, 10,000 drops of void mother liquid were consumed by him. I didn't expect that 10,000 drops of void mother liquid have been refined, and it has not reached the extreme of the 6 blood changes. Hazy Tianzu and the others are also preparing to spend endless years, entering the Mia Sea of bitterness again and again to collect void mother liquid. For them, will one day gather enough void mother liquid to temper the heart to the extreme of the 6 blood changes. Yi Tian guessed. Continue to Mia's bitter sea. Yi Tian passed by again. Because the void demon worm copied its body and found tens of thousands of void mother liquid, but there are not many void mother liquid left, and if you search further, it is estimated that you can only find another 10 or 20,000 void mother liquid. But so many void mother liquid should be enough for him to refine by himself. After this batch of void mother liquid is exhausted, Mia Kuai wants to breed more void mother liquid, and has to slowly accumulate it over a long period of time, but it will not accumulate a lot of void mother liquid. Wait for the next time Hazy Tianzu and the others enter the rice field. Yakuai, I may not find a few drops of void mother liquid. Yi Tian thought to himself. Soon, he he received tens of thousands of drops of void mother liquid, and then continued refining the void mother liquid to temper his heart. This time, after consuming 26,000 drops of void mother liquid again, he finally tempered his heart to the extreme of the 6 blood transitions. I've encountered a bottleneck again, and I need to break the bottleneck before I can become the ancestor of the 7th blood transformation realm. Yi Tian stopped refining the void mother liquid for the time being, but tried to break this bottleneck. Unexpected, he thought of those void worms. Those void demon insects are not too powerful, but when he entered the bitter sea of Mia, he couldn't defeat any void demon insect. Using the suppressing power of the void demon insect, after countless battles, he might be able to break the bottleneck. Of course, the premise is that a large number of void demon insects will not besiege him, and a few void demon insects will attack him, which will not only put pressure on him, but will not kill his duplicate body in a short time. The only thing I can do is let the void demon insect copy its body and mix in the boss's position. Yi Tian decided.